wherever you shop locally. Hi Neighbor, True, Calandro's, Rouse's. You can pick up Papa Earl's True Blue Water, TRUBluewater.com to get on the delivery route today. And Majestic Coffee, DeliciousSips.com is our daily coffee sponsor. And it will be a busy day for the Metropolitan Health Group phone line as our friends over there, Charles Harvey and Jason Ramazan, bring us our phone line every day. And as we said, John Brady will be there, Ben Mintz will be there, and Gordon McKernan will be there today in the second hour. But this name, image, and likeness stuff, right? Alexis Morris, good for her as the point guard for the standout point guard for LSU basketball as the LSU women's team. We hadn't talked about this enough.
Not enough.
We haven't. And we are huge supporters of the group. Love Kim Mulkey.
I mean, maybe you got the deal done over there.
But they are on fire.
I mean, they had, what, 9 wins last year?
9 wins last year, and they've won 10 straight.
Or 10 this year, 10 or 11 this year.
That's unbelievable.
With a win over a top 15 team, Iowa State, on ESPN a couple of weeks back. But Alexis Morris, as we said, her story is fantastic. She started at Baylor. Her and Coach Mulkey butted heads. She went all over the place, now back playing for her here at LSU, averaging 14 points a game, which is second best on the squad. As LSU women's hoops right now, number 21 in the country. But she signed an NIL deal with Gordon McKernan yesterday. And as we said, Gordon will be here in the second hour to talk about this. But Morris is a fifth-year senior who has inked the deal with Gordon McKernan. And it'll be interesting to see what type of dominoes begin to fall after this deal is now agreed upon. And she'll just be, we'll ask Gordon what her responsibilities are, but I wouldn't assume anything outside of some social media posts and just some support. I saw a lot of the gear with the G on it was handed out to Alexis Morris yesterday, so I'd imagine she'll be rocking a lot of that on social media. But this is the type of deal that we were talking about to really get this going. If you saw, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to this, but Matt Ishbia, I hope it's right.
Take a shot.
East Lansing, Michigan State, big Michigan State alum. He was a walk-on on Izzo's 2000 national championship team, has gone on to be an uber successful businessman in the area that cares undyingly, passionately about Michigan State sports. He has pledged, outside of the $32 million that he pledged to the athletic department just a couple of years back, with all of it earmarked towards the Tom Izzo basketball and football center. Now he has gone into business with Michigan State student athletes, guaranteeing every football player and every basketball player, I just believe the men's team, NIL deals that will pay you at least $500 a month if you sign on Michigan State and if you're a scholarship athlete right now for the Spartans on both the football and basketball team. Some of you may say, well, that's not a lot of money at $500 a month. It's a lot to a 18 to 21-year-old, but what it does is it gets Mel Tucker and Tom Izzo now at least something to talk about and discuss at the recruiting dinner table that is in place for Michigan State athletes. Gordon McKernan has got some of the deepest pockets that support LSU athletics. And there are some deep pockets out there that support the brand. Gordon McKernan has got as deep a pockets at just about, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. He cares a lot about LSU, and he is the type of guy and the type of business that can come into a discussion and totally change it for LSU athletics. Whether you like him, whether you are turned off by his form of advertisement, whether you don't like his personality, whatever it is, whether you love him, because there's a lot of people out there that do. He is the type of business and has the type of model that we have been talking about throughout this whole NIL structure that LSU has to have in place. Somebody with deep pockets that really, Gordon McKernan can never really run out of money. I know that a lot of people out there say you can always run out of money, but he has got what
unlimited
feels
money?
like an endless stream of money. Enough where he can put into place a financial structure for LSU athletes that LSU coaches can now recruit towards. I mean, don't think that Kim Mulkey's on the phone this morning talking to some of the biggest recruits in the country saying, pay attention, people. If NIL is big deal to you, we've got one of the biggest businesses in our state supporting our point guard. Think what happens if he gets into the discussion with Kayshawn. Think if he's already in the discussion with Kayshawn. We're asking him at 8:45 this morning. Did you get it?
I don't know.
I don't even know what that was.
Right in my nose. Sorry.
But this is what this is
Way
this
to
is
put
what
a
it
bow on
takes.
that very
Yeah.
serious conversation.
This is what it takes.
Well, don't you just want to be at the table, right? It's a way that if you're LSU, you can at least start having the conversation and telling people that you're doing this. It doesn't matter really the amount of money right now. It feels like you just want to be able to say that you're in Texas, that you're with Texas A&M, that you have just some plan in place. It's better than nothing.
Well, this is what we were talking about yesterday with A&M. This is what A&M's doing. This is what Texas is doing. Now, finally,
you're just in the conversation.
and whether or not we've had money or something, like other boosters were doing this, it wasn't vocal. Nobody saw it. Nobody knew it. Now it's like, hey, we have one of the business faces of Louisiana stepping up and saying, hey, look, this is what we're going to do, and watch me do it. Like, look at me, I'm doing it, and now everybody else, oh, shit, Gordon's doing it. We better jump on this shit.
Oh, yeah, here they come.
Yeah.
Here
no
they
doubt.
come,
Takes
man.
one domino.
No doubt.
Absolutely. I mean,
It's like when you're a recruit.
who was the first one on the bus?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. I
Right.
mean, now you can't go 10
Yeah.
feet and see a bus without somebody's face.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like football. It's like sports. I mean, it's an imitation league.
I mean, if you're a recruit, a high school recruit, and you haven't really, you're kind of like a late bloomer, and then you get offered by Alabama or by Florida, you're going to have 40 offers in the next 2 weeks. The first one comes, it's over. Same concept. First guy comes in and says, hey,
We're doing this.
here's the checkbook. Whatever we need,
Yep.
I'm going to be able to do. And now other people with the same means that he has jumping on board. This is what we needed.
So we will talk to Gordon coming up here at 8:45 this morning and kind of get the nuts and bolts of this thing and what his vision and outlook is for NIL, because he, with one decision, can either change the game by himself or with his connections and contacts can bring a collective group to a table that can totally change the game for LSU.
No doubt.
And keep you up to, or at least up to speed with the competition. Like I said, I don't think that LSU can compete. They can't compete with the numbers that Texas A&M, Texas have. I don't think anybody can.
But I feel like if you can get close to that,
But if you can get to the,
Yep.
if you can get to the ballpark, if you can get in the book,
Just get in the game.
if you can get in the game with somebody like this, who, you know, there's not too many bidding wars that these guys are going to lose. And if it comes down to a couple of $1,000 to keep Keyshawn Butte, you know what I mean? Like, you're now in the discussion of, hey, look, LSU saying that they can get this, and it's not LSU that are striking the deals, right? Like, and this is kind of the shady part of the NIL stuff. Like, this is kind of the dirty
This is
part
the
of
guts
it,
right here.
right?
It's still gross. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's still your old college football.
Absolutely. This is still college football. It's still college athletics.
Still
I mean,
does
it
the
is
thing.
grimy AF.
oh, it gets scummy back
It's
there.
2 a.m. still.
Absolutely. I mean, contracts or no contracts, people are still walking out of the building with their hats on low. You know what I mean? Just, I
Should've
wasn't
done
there.
that. Yeah.
I wasn't there last night.
That was a little worse than I thought.
Right.
Feel gross.
I'm going to leave it around 3:30 a.m.
Why is there
Doesn't
still
matter. People
glitter?
are watching.
Yeah, you receive. Would you say that maybe Alabama got a little greedy with the rumors of them trying to get Keyshawn Butte and pick off another LSU player, that kind of forced maybe a Gordon McKernan to get LSU in the game if they don't come after your two best players and
Yeah, but
recruit?
you have to.
Right, but I'm saying, but if they just take one, maybe it doesn't push LSU.
I think
in this
Keyshawn was the
direction.
icing on the cake.
That would make me stand up if I'm a Gordon McKernan, like, all right, F this dude. Are you kidding me?
I
Like,
think Shaz Preston and Kendrick Law and Aaron
Probably.
Anderson opened the conversation, and then Keyshawn's the icing on the cake,
you're not doing
Yeah.
that.
right? Like, I mean,
This has to
hold
stop.
up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Taking
Like,
everything.
hang on.
Yeah, we're still LSU, damn it.
Right. I mean, who's willing to get in the game?
Me.
You know, call Gordon.
Get it done.
Right. Like, I mean, there it is. There you go.
Boom. Look at that.
Ugh.
Nailed it.
They just write themselves. Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders. RMB Builders are our guys, Rhett Bourgeois, over at RMB, man. Things are starting to really come together over at the new DL. I may have been a little aggressive.
A little.
But
easier to tone
looks
that
like
down.
we're going to be in there for January 2nd is the night. That is a Sunday night show going into the week ahead where LSU Basketball is going to play Kentucky on January 4th. The bowl game will be that same night from Houston. We will talk about the Texas Bowl coming up here. A big opt-out for the bowl for LSU on the defensive line that we will break down coming up here on the Jordy Culotta
launching the show, launching mic'd up.
Launching mic'd up, new DL. Things are starting to come together.
Second, middle of that week.
But yeah, right there at the first of the year.
Yeah.
But RMB Builders has been instrumental on the move, man. And if that is one of your concerns here around the holidays of maybe an addition to the home, maybe remodel, you want to rebuild something around the house, RMB Builders, trusted guys over at Rhett Bourgeois and his crew. RMB-builders.com is where you can find them online. Whether you want to custom design a home and get it built, or you just need some handiwork done around the house here during the holidays. RMB Builders not going to get me this time.
Nope, I was wondering.
RMB-builders.com, as you can find him online. Make sure and tell him that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show with Rhett Bourgeois and our guys over there. It is easy.
Really makes this easy.
Easy. So it is good to see LSU at least getting into the discussion, and good for Alexis Morris. As if anybody does not and has not heard her story, it's pretty crazy, man. It really is. I mean, just kind of where she came from, her relationship with Kim Mulkey. Her collegiate career started at Baylor back, I believe, in like 2017 is when she was a freshman. Mulkey threw her off the team as a true freshman, breaking team rules. She went to Rutgers for 2 seasons, then went to Texas A&M last year, got banged up in SEC play, couldn't finish the season on the floor, rehabbed in the offseason, called Kim Mulkey when she got the job at LSU and said, I want you back. Like, kind of, I need you back in my life, right? And Mulkey kind of did the Mulkey thing where she made her earn her way back, and now she's a starting point
Probably
guard.
hell to get back, dude, if you have to go crawling back.
But could
to
you
the
imagine?
like Coach
Could you
Carter.
imagine if you make it back in?
Coach Carter's a great example.
It reminds me of
Definitely
Coach
Cruz.
Carter. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you want back on the team, and you have to go do all the runs, and she wins over the team, and the team.
Right.
Like, that's what I mean.
Starting point guard,
look,
averaging 14.
Yeah,
now.
they're 11-1.
You know what I mean?
You know, like, this is like, that's.
Timo Cruz.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great story. And, like, from Mulkey's point of view, don't you think that she probably knew that she wanted her back deep down inside, but kind of, like, knew that this was going to be a...
I have to make this hard on you, but
is
it's
the
a great
greatness.
marriage.
This is the greatness of Kim Mulkey,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well,
right here on display. I mean, she deserves a lot of credit for being able to... At the end of the day, coaches are nothing but managers. You
No
know
doubt.
this better than anybody.
doubt.
I mean, all you're really
What are they
doing
called,
is
managers?
managing
Managers in the big leagues,
personalities. I mean, at this level, you're still teaching the game and going over and refining skill.
You're teaching life, too.
Absolutely.
You know
More
what I
than
mean?
the game.
And
Right
that's
through the game.
That's the most impressive thing is her growth. Like, as a freshman, she was probably that 18-year-old who really didn't know much, and she thought she was the best that'd ever do it, and it kind of got caught up with her, and Kim Mulkey was like, no, we're not going to handle that. You're out. And then she transfers, goes to see some different types of schools, and says, you know what? Like, I needed that. Now that I'm older, I'm 5 years in, like, I see that. I need that. And so she goes back and does it, and it's cool to see somebody willing to change and see, like, okay, I need to
realize
grow.
what happened. Like,
Right.
I realized, like, he was
Right.
actually what was best for me. Like, when I look back on it, I miss Kim Mulkey being my head coach, and I'm gonna go. That's the good part of the transfer portal you don't get to really see is like the relationships that are built through this, and you can go find and seek out a coach that can absolutely help you and make you better. I guess on and off the court, if you want to say it that way, but she's a better basketball player now, and they get together and it works. Like, that's the good side of it. Have you ever had, like, if you could pick one that you would actually have followed around in your, like, playing career, like one manager or coach, like when you were there, you're like, damn, this is working.
As like in the big leagues, like in baseball or like my life, baseball
Either.
probably.
Baseball.
You know what? Honestly, the manager we had in Tampa, he's still there, Kevin Cash.
Really?
I like Cashy a lot.
It's incredible how good Tampa is.
Yeah.
And that dump.
How well run it is.
Oh, dude. And I mean, they've been doing this forever. Now they've kind of figured out, they've kind of like broken the game a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hacked it for sure.
But he's awesome. He was a player, understands how to like hang out with the players and talk to the players, but he also knows how to get that trust from you. Like, he's not a hard, like, in-your-face kind of guy. I don't know. I like this person. He'd be right in the middle of the card game with the boys on the plane.
Yes.
And then you'd go, and then he was just – and he did some stuff. And I didn't – look, they ended up trading me, but he did stuff for me when I was there that I was like, damn, this is –
stand-up dude.
Yeah, 16. Yeah. I mean, 2016, I was struggling. We're in Toronto, and he sat next to me, and he was like, hey, you're the fucking starter right now. Like, relax. You're not going anywhere. You're not getting sent down. You're here. I was like, damn, and I kind of like
freed you up.
Yeah, like because there's so many times coaches make you want to wonder, and you want to be like, man, I wonder what they're thinking. I'm trying to do this, and you're always concerned with impressing.
Oh, Scotty.
It's all good.
Uh-oh.
It's all good.
He did his
Woody
job.
needs to relax.
Impressing,
Go to bed, buddy. It's all
impressing
good.
your manager, and so I would do that, and I'm super hard on myself, and that's probably my biggest flaw of baseball. But I was fucking struggling, and he brings me out there, and he's like, hey, you're good. You're good. And I'm like, man, that's
All I needed to
and
hear.
he did some other stuff for me. Like when I was in my rookie year, I was in a meeting with him and our GM, and they sent me down and after spring training, and he kind of gave me a little layup to say what I wanted to say. So it was a good move by him, and I appreciated that.
Lloyd, Carl Dunn says, straighten out the Skip Burtman picture behind your head.
Oh, Skipper.
Yeah.
We got Scott going down. Here we go. Carl, thank you.
Can't disrespect
The
Skippy.
architect.
LSU basketball moves up a couple of spots in the polls. Who cares? Not high enough. 17 is
Keep
the,
us at 26.
Rather be
Yeah,
26.
right.
Unrank us.
Yeah, right. I'd rather be out of it for sure. We'll talk more about that, but some LSU football updates for you here. Neil Farrell has opted out of the LSU bowl game. That's tough news, as he tweeted that he appreciates all the love and support, but he will not be playing in the bowl game.
Well,
He's decided that he wanted to start the pre-draft process. Much love to the university and relationships that he's built at LSU forever. LSU. So Neil Farrell opts out. LSU going to be hit by the numbers game here, and I don't think that you've even really started to see the worst of it. There seems to be more names on the horizon that may be out of this game, and it will be interesting to see how LSU competes in this January 4th matchup against Kansas State. If nothing else, you will get a look and see at the future of the program in a lot of spots. I don't think that a lot of veterans, I don't think a lot of the names that you know are really going to be around for the Texas Bowl coming up on the 4th.
The spread's already it's only
Is it starting to plummet?
it's already at 2. It's only 2.5.
Okay, well, so it's starting to fall.
I hopped on old Kansas State because that thing's going to start. I think we might know a little
It's going
bit
to start tumbling here.
more than Vegas does right now. They haven't exactly locked in. So I did a little teaser yesterday.
it's at what is it?
2.5.
LSU 2.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me make sure. But I did a little teaser yesterday to get them little Vikings little.
And look,
I don't even feel bad, but this isn't LSU football. These aren't the LSU football.
No, but these
team
are
I know.
but this is gonna be the LSU football team next year. Part of it. Which
it.
is good. Which I'm excited to see. But look,
They don't have a quarterback.
I'm not one to get mad at someone from opting. I mean, I'm not one to say I agree with it. Right? Like I want you to play with your guys, but there are certain situations that I understand. Right? I didn't really understand Fournette's. Like
I don't think that was his decision.
Okay, I don't know what went on. And look, there's other things that go on behind the scenes that I don't know, so I don't want to rush to judgment on anything.
Yeah.
But there's some guys that I agree that you need to play and you should play. You don't want these are your boys. You've been all year with them. It's a struggle you got here. But for him, I understand it because he's been hurt. He hasn't played all that much, but when he's played, he's been dominant. So hey man, I understand holding off because you have been injury prone, you have been getting over this stuff, and you grinded out when you didn't have to at the end of the year. And you showed out and you put yourself back on the map. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I think that at some point you got to say, you know what, this is probably the smartest decision for me.
Yeah. And I think that's what the bowl exposes is very much individual decisions within a team sport that is very much a turnoff to the mass of the fan base. And that's understandable from their point of view. But I think once you kind of dive down to the player's point of view, I get it too. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad look. I mean, just for the game. Yeah. But I mean, when it comes down to it, it's understandable. Rico Delgado, can you tell us all the players that will miss because of academics? We cannot, Rico, because there's a lot of names that are being discussed, but nothing's official. So I mean, the last thing you want to do is put names out there and then come to find out that name wasn't true. Let's just let the names officially come out and then we'll react to it. But I do believe that LSU is going to they're going to be hit. They're going to be hit. I don't think that Neil Farrell is the first one, and I don't think that he's the biggest name. And Farrell is a huge player on LSU's defense.
Big name.
And I don't know if he's the biggest name that will be out of the bowl game.
Is there a chance that LSU doesn't play in the bowl game? Do you think they're going to?
I think you're too far in.
That's what I'm saying. It
right?
feels like you're too far in, but they're not far enough in yet to know who's going to opt in and opt out. And if it's
I think they know.
Rush, okay.
I think LSU knows.
Right.
I do believe that.
So they had the opportunity probably to opt out by now.
I would imagine so. I would imagine so. I think. Well, I think that Brian Kelly probably wants to see the program on the field. You know what I mean? Like, go take your ass kicking. You know what I mean? If that's what it takes, I mean, let's see.
Is there a limit on the amount of players you have to have?
I believe it's 51.
I mean, are we close to that? Are we gonna be close to that?
I think you'll probably be under it, and they'll have to get a waiver or they'll get some type of walk-on type of clearance. I mean, I really do. They will. I mean, they were close on one road game that they made this year. They were like paper thin on the numbers.
Was it Bama?
It may have been Bama. I think it was Alabama. I think it was. I think it was Bama.
What a fight!
Seriously.
Because I would imagine if Neil Farrell, who was somebody I would imagine kind of like on the fence of an opt-in, opt-out guy when you think about like preparing for the draft. There's bigger names ahead of him that if he's going to do it, like we talked about the first guy on the bus.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily
he could kind of start.
I don't
this trend for
necessarily
LSU.
think that he's doing it just to prepare for the draft. Yeah, that's why. But I think if he was healthy all year and he wasn't coming off injury and like that wasn't really that much of a risk outside of the normal risk of playing football, I think he'd play. Or I think he would have considered playing more. But I think what's the point if he goes out there and plays and gets hurt? Then it's like, okay, I can't do any testing, I can't do any of that.
But you're mad at Kenny Pickett.
So yeah, I think Kenny Pickett should play.
See, it's where you draw the line.
Because
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like I understand, but like for Kenny Pickett, he has not been known as the guy to get hurt. Like, look, if he has a career-ending injury, like that is very, very, very unfortunate. But if he goes and he messes up his knee, like he doesn't need to go to the combine to do that.
Here's what college football has to do and do immediately because the bowls have lost all credibility, and this is all going to start to happen. Is that you have to expand the playoff?
That's what it is.
Well, this
is why you expand the playoff is because now you restock the credibility of the postseason.
You have to
because outside of the Final Four, nobody really cares. Yeah. I know that you watch. I'll watch. You know what I mean? It'll be on as background noise and background television at your Christmas parties, and you'll sneak off and watch, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. But do you really care if you're not invested from a gambling standpoint?
No, it's just nice to be. It's just, it's something that's on the entire day.
I mean, I love watching the Holiday Bowl. You know what I mean?
I'm not
at the end of the year in San Diego.
I'm not watching anything actually, unless I'm betting, unless I have money on it.
But this is why you have to expand the playoff, is because amongst other reasons, but I think first and foremost from college football's standpoint, you would relieve a lot of the opt-outs, not all of them. I do believe that there would be some people like probably on the teams 8 through 16.
See, I don't know. I think teams that aren't in the playoff guys would opt out unless like the guy legitimately doesn't care. Like he doesn't, you know what I mean? Like majority of the time, the guys are going to play that out because they have a chance to win a championship. I agree. And can I clarify something on the Kenny Pickett thing?
Sure.
I understand both sides. I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. I'm just saying what I would like, the way I think about it and how I would do it. So I look, there's cases to be made on both sides of playing and not playing and why you don't. Like, I'm not saying one side is better than the other. I understand.
It's whatever's best for you. But yeah. I think Jordy's right. If you can make this seem important, if Pittsburgh was in a playoff game, Kenny Pickett's not sitting out. He's like, I'm going to go try to win a couple playoff games and get a national championship.
Well,
he doesn't care about, but it's just the.
Well, if he opts out in that scenario, it's a knock on him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a knock on him.
Right.
Like, I mean,
because you're playing for something.
Right now,
Yeah.
it's understandable. If you not,
it's a nothing bowl.
If you opt out in the playoff, people ask, "Are you a competitor?
Are you committed to the game? Son?
Yeah, right.
Do you love it? Are you selfish? Right.
Daily, we're brought to you by Feliah Real Estate. Remember our friends over at Feliah Real Estate. Get in touch with Barrett Blondo over there. Easy to find Barrett Blondo online at Feliah.com. You should download the app inside your Google and Apple App Store, as Feliah is really changing the way that real estate is bought and sold around the state of Louisiana. Tons of success stories over at Feliah, at Feliah.com. We've heard success stories of listeners in Shreveport, over in Lafayette, over in New Orleans. That's right there on Clay Cut Road, man. That's one of those.
This house
it's
is.
a great house, a great lot.
That's pretty cool.
Right there on the corner of Glenmore, Glenmore and
Look at you,
This is
and
on
Clay Cut.
on the website.
scouting through the website.
Feliah.com.
I love this.
Wow, look how
setup.
cool that house is.
This is a gangster pad.
You love that. That's right up your alley.
It
huh?
is.
Get in touch with Feliah, our friends over
right.
at Feliah.com.
Get in touch with them, Lloyd.
Only 400, dude. I got that. No big
Easy,
deal.
bro. Jordy Culotta show
Should
growing.
Yeah,
growing.
I'll paint it blue if I have to.
New DL, hopefully on January 2nd.
Well, no,
No,
hopefully.
no,
Okay,
hopefully.
okay. I was
Deadline
like,
day.
Yes, we are going January 2nd. So a little bit of programming for you just to give you a heads up. Next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll be on Wednesday morning.
That's up to you, dude.
Yeah,
That's you.
because I'll be out of town Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Be back Sunday. We'll be live Sunday night, so we will be off. No programming next week on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We will pick back up on Sunday, January 2nd, from the new DL. So just make a note. We'll have some stuff running on the station. Hopefully, some kind of best
Put
stuff
like
over
a
the
little
last
best
couple
of
of
or
months.
something,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Just
this has made Lloyd's skin crawl a little bit. He's nervous
No,
about
I
this.
just-
Y'all come in, just check out some best ofs for us.
Yeah.
What, on the
Yeah.
3 days off has stressed you out?
No. I just to put together
He's
the
talking
best
about. He's talking
stuff.
about
If we
the
want to make
internet.
it
The internet's a weird thing.
It
Yeah,
It's just
it
like
is.
you know.
Everything's
It is.
out there. We have to go
Yeah.
grab
Carpool
it.
Queen?
I just don't know
Morning?
where to find it.
Yeah, we'll find it.
We'll find
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Or we'll just run it. Maybe I'll have something that I'll
Okay.
stuff something in the can and we'll just run it then. We'll have something.
We'll run
Yeah.
it. We'll have
run
some.
you something.
We got
The
it.
$400 shoes that are not Jordans.
Not Jay's.
At some
They're
point,
good,
we're
though.
gonna-
How does that happen?
at some point, I'm
How
going to need an
does-
explanation on these.
That-
I
yeah.
really am. I've looked around too many flag football fields and tackle football fields and
everywhere.
basketball gyms now, and seen these shoes
What are they? What are
all
they?
over
Golden Goose.
women's feet.
Golden Goose.
Golden
Goose,
Goose. My sister sells them at her store.
I have several pair.
Several.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Ooh.
And the price
Y'all
tag
see
on
them, all
these things
pink
I
ones?
have.
Oh man, your old boss is flipping out right now.
I have.
Oh God, Lloyd, no.
I don't know. I missed that
They're
one.
closed toe.
They're closed. Oh, you haven't heard this
I
story?
missed that. I don't know. I'm a late arrival to this
Did
the
we sell
group.
that live
Catch
or
her
was
up.
that private?
Definitely.
Catch 'em up. Well, now we have to say it. Now we have to say
right?
it.
So a guy that
Catch them up quick
worked
before we
for me
can get the explanation on
asked me
these
one
shoes that look
time-
worn. They look worn.
Yeah, they look
worn.
I
They're
mean,
meant
I
to
don't
look
get it.
worn.
I
That's
don't
part
get
of the
it.
look.
I know, but I don't get
They're
it,
meant
Mike.
to look
I don't
worn.
get it. So
he
catch him up.
asked me why I always wore closed-toe shoes.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was
That's
very,
kind of a
and it
weird
was
question.
weird. It was like we were in the car alone together when he asked me.
Little
Like
feet
coming
fetish?
back from, yeah, it was very weird.
Interstate?
No, we were in the parking lot
Oh.
at my office. So we
Oh,
arrived
wow.
back.
Didn't
Yeah.
something else
He
happen?
used to work there, and he had moved on, and he was trying to get me to come work for him. And
Wow,
asked me
hell of a
why-
pitch.
That's a good
Hell of a
opener.
pitch.
Wow,
And
what
that
an
was
opener.
the question that he asked me once we pulled back up to my office and were sitting in my car alone. Why don't you show your feet? Why do you always wear closed-toe shoes?
So what was your answer?
I was like, because I'm
I'm in.
professional. I
You
mean,
know
I always
what?
wear, like,
I've thought
heels.
about it. I love the opportunity. I can't wait to join. You said what?
Okay,
Corner
so-
office and vice president? Is that eggshell
I
cards
mean,
we
you
get?
know, I guess I could have gone that route. You know,
So wait,
people do.
so you answered.
I'll send you one
answered
picture a
them,
month
and
if I
then
don't
what
have to come
happened
to the
after
office.
That was it.
that? That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
What a weird.
That- I mean, that was-
and
he
then,
got
and
his
then you had to
answer.
drive together.
Golly, dude.
We had gotten back to my
I
office.
was like,
Did you go to
damn, you had
HR?
to go to a car ride together.
Did you go to HR?
No, I didn't go to anyone.
Yeah.
Except for here. She's
I go to y'all. I go to all my problems with.
You want to start a podcast?
nice being weird.
Yeah, why not?
this feet thing is out of control. You really could have just leveraged like, look, I won't go into the office, but I'll send you a picture once a month.
Oh, look, Cody
Oh my
Boudreaux's
gosh.
back with a $20 super chat.
No, girls out of town.
Cody.
Katie's old
Cody
boss.
Doon.
Katie's old boss is about to find the new DL. He
I
says.
mean, you could, you know, shoot.
Shoot.
I could get some money.
But Katie,
Shoot.
so somebody with as much
that
and
shoe money.
as well respected as you are in the shoe game, and you are very
Thank
much
you.
on the streets.
Thank
People
you.
tell me about your shoe game.
Thank you.
I don't get these.
The Golden Goose.
I don't get 'em.
understand. I didn't get them.
I don't get them at all.
And then I got my first pair, and I mean, I don't know. I just like
Are
them.
you going comfort here, or are
Yeah,
you
are they
going look?
comfortable?
They're okay. They're not as
She's
comfortable
going
as
straight
Jordan.
status,
Straight
dude. She
look.
fell for
Straight
the
look.
trap.
Okay, and I appreciate your
That's
honesty.
like
I appreciate
the
your
red
honesty.
bottoms. You get some red bottoms, just a status look. You
It's
get
just
some
status.
other shoes that are probably
Sometimes you
better.
gotta flex a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear these like walking through like a city all day long, but I mean they're fine. They're still sneakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
Show
all
'em how you
pink
live
one-
it,
my
you know
all
what I mean?
pink
They
ones
look
are
like
Golden
brats,
Goose too.
like BRATZ. Like they remember like the
Oh
little,
yeah, they
like
do
the girl
kind of look
stuff.
like brats.
That's what they remind me of.
So
They're
what's
very cheap.
the brand is Golden
Golden
Goose,
Goose.
and they're not they're just kind of their own shoe.
Yes, they are their own.
Do they
Good
do
for them,
anything
bro.
special?
I mean,
Like,
they're
are
the
they
Air
like,
Jordans of.
Women
Like
Air Jordan.
other
Women's
than
clothing.
the design shoes, like do they
For-
offer I don't
Air
know,
Jordan for
like,
white women.
What
They
makes
make
them?
them for men.
Are you
so-
bougie?
I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't know if that's my.
That is. I
They
mean,
make 'em
I
for
mean,
men.
when I see that in a basketball gym, I think high maintenance.
Yeah, I get it. It is very high maintenance.
And I'm not labeling, and you're not.
I know.
You know what I mean? But
I know.
my
sounds
perception
like
is.
sounds like you're labeling her.
I am judgmental. I am
mean,
judgmental on people's shoes.
I get it.
You know?
I like shoes.
Yeah.
So
No, I get it.
There are a
Me
lot of
too.
people
You know
like
who
shoes.
doesn't?
I mean,
Your
look.
old boss.
he doesn't want me wearing shoes.
It got to the point where it's like, I'm just gonna have to ask. I've been wanting to see these feet for 6
Yes.
fucking months.
Did you
and then
put
she
your
won't
two?
show
Did you
'em.
put your 2 weeks in? Like,
I'll give you a promotion for God's sake.
He
What
doesn't
do you
work
want?
here anymore.
Oh,
He
that's
was trying to
right.
get
That's
me to come
right.
where
That's
he
right.
Yeah, he was
was.
trying to get the
Right.
feet back.
What if I would have
That's right.
taken my shoe off?
You
Like,
sh-
what
oh,
would have
but he would've
happened?
come
Don't
in.
even.
Oh, you know what?
I know you're gonna say what happened.
Let me air these puppies out.
But like, if you would have been like straight up, like kicked him off, and be like, I don't know.
What was that offer?
What do you think? You're like, you're hired. Do you want equity? How's 75% sound?
Oh my gosh! I know.
Can you get out of my car right now?
People
I can't
are
walk.
Weird. People are weird.
I
Men
don't
at work are
I
weird.
don't shame. Whatever.
Shamichael Thompson says Jordans aren't comfortable. That is a
Michael
hot
Jordan
take,
said Jordans
but
aren't comfortable.
it's true.
Oh, I feel like they
It's
are.
true, really.
I enjoy these. I mean, I don't.
Those
do
are
anything.
probably more comfortable than the
Yeah.
like. These are like heavy.
Really?
You know what I mean? And like they're
No,
like,
they're heavy.
They're almost like kind of like lined with carpet, so they're hot.
Oh, geez.
Like so, right now.
So you
Not
definitely
carpet,
wouldn't-
but
you
I mean,
wouldn't
you know what I
play-
mean? Like that's hot in
Yeah,
like an
I
interior.
guess I can
You know
see
what I mean?
that. These are not. These are a very thin leather sole, so they're not hot.
I like mine.
Maybe that's why people.
I don't
like
wear
So
it.
mine
you
all that
definitely
much.
wouldn't want to play basketball in them.
Are
No.
those, are those
They're
dead
not at all.
socks you have on,
Not
by
at
the
all.
way?
They are
The
dead socksy.
socksy?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Wow,
like
look at
those.
you.
I like
That's
those.
all I wear though. I mean, I cleaned out
Yeah.
my
I need to
entire
get.
sock
I
closet.
need to get
Drawer.
some more dead socksy socks.
Yeah, we need to get more.
Yeah, I need to get
coming
some
in
more.
Here.
I don't have any. I don't.
You didn't get any from the batch?
No, I
that
got
you
the dress socks.
Yeah.
And I got 2 pairs
Wait,
of like
this
other
is,
socks.
do you pull yours all the way up? I don't know.
Oh
why
yeah,
we're
we
rehashing-
had this conversation.
You do it too?
I pull them as far as the
For
socks
sure.
go up.
Well,
Bro,
the
you're the
dead
weird
socksy
one.
ones have the little things.
You
that
are the
keep
weird
the
one.
sock
Having
up.
what they have.
You
There's
just
nothing
don't like
worse
that.
than scrunched up socks at the
But
ankle.
they can hold. That's why you don't have to go all the way up. It's because
Because
they
like-
have the technology to stay.
They
I
do
like
have
it.
that technology.
You don't feel like a baseball player? Do you? Is it still like it is in Little League? Like, is it like socks?
What?
The way that you think it is in the big leagues? Like, is it just good old pair of
Some
socks?
some wear socks high. I like to wear them up because it's like a extra. To me, it's like extra cushion when you slide on like your legs. Like I have my tights and then my socks over them. Some guys wear like these socks if they wear their pants down, and then I mean I've seen people wear ankle socks, but like that's. I mean,
But
that's
is it
stupid.
still like the cotton, like the old school
Oh, no,
sock?
no,
No,
they're
these
like-
are Major League
fire.
Baseball issued socks.
These are like
Because the
these are
belts are
like
leather.
these are from.
I mean,
forget the brand.
everything has the MLB logo on it that y'all wear, right?
Yeah, but
It's-
Nike has
No,
the
it's
uniforms.
Stance.
Stance socks are the socks that we wear.
Yeah.
Those now they're great, but they suck when they
Stance.
get washed. You dry them, they get they shrink.
STANCE.
They shrink a little bit. So then it's like a battle to pull them up, but they're
Oh, I
comfortable.
hate that.
It's a battle for the clubby.
Dead socksy doesn't shrink.
There you go. There we
They
go.
don't. Justin Jefferson, another electric night for him on Monday Night Football.
I mean, they
Um,
threw for less than 100 yards.
it's
And
unbelievable.
He was the only guy that was doing anything.
Football stinks right now, dude.
It does. It
That,
does.
it's just
when you hit that cold part where people are now hurt, you're getting into backups.
hurt and the sick thing.
and the COVID is striking.
Yeah,
hasn't,
but
hasn't touched
The
college
COVID.
The
football.
COVID.
it's gonna be the COVID.
I just turned 81.
You did just
Yeah,
hurt
right.
anyone. That COVID's gonna
Make
get
everything
us.
plural.
I went to the Walmart, got the COVID.
Man, those kids on the internet.
But it's I mean it is amazing
fearless leader.
how he runs around on an NFL football field, and it's like he's running in his backyard. 4 catches for him last night, another touchdown, 47 yards. But it's like he's just. They don't know that he's getting the ball, and everybody game
He's
plans
so
to take
good.
him out of the game.
His
He
route,
is.
his
He's
route running
unbelievable.
is so good. Pro bowler. Made
Yeah,
the Pro
for
Bowl
sure.
again.
He doesn't
Man.
look it though, right? Is that what
No.
maybe confuses people? It's just a little. It's not. It doesn't look like Jamar Chase running around out there.
No,
it's
but, like-
it's a little different, but it is still.
He glides.
He's
Yeah.
leaner. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gliding, and he is very like subtle with his movements
It's nearly
and
goofy.
shaking you up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he almost just kind of shakes you with his shoulders and his hips,
Yep.
and he's comes out of the break very fast. And what he does better than anybody is he
So
doesn't
slick.
he didn't drop the ball.
Yeah.
No,
He never drops the ball.
he's so good.
But it's crazy because he doesn't do. I guess he kind of.
He didn't hit the rookie wall.
Yeah,
He didn't
he's
hit the
just been
rookie wall,
good.
and kind of Jamar's hit the rookie wall, right?
He's tired, is what it feels
Well, I mean,
like.
he just hit the wall.
Yeah.
I think taking a year off, getting hit again in an NFL football field
being
for
the
the
best
first
receiver
time,
on your team.
playing in the cold weather,
Yeah.
outside for the first time. You know what I mean? I think Jefferson said it last year. He was like, "Thank God we play indoors."
Yeah.
Because
A lot of these guys have never done that.
right. Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to handle it. Rohan talks about playing in New England for the first time. I mean, he was like,
It
the first
sucks.
winter we were like,
even imagine.
"Are you kidding?" I mean,
He wore a sweatshirt under his pads.
I mean, it was
He did.
just.
I don't know.
Oh.
But I mean, it's just a different
I
type of
believe
cold. It's a different type of cold.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
Your
Like,
bones
it's,
is cold.
especially if you're from the South. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I could imagine producing. Like, you probably know, playing in Detroit.
I'm the worst cold weather player.
I could not
It's
imagine
terrible.
Do you think they know that?
playing.
I mean, everybody's not. There's not. You don't want. There's probably not many good cold weather players. Like there's guys that, man, it sucks.
Miggy looked
Especially-
miserable.
dude. So then you go. We're up there. It's freezing.
It's legitimately snowing on opening day.
Our average temperature in 2018 was 31 degrees the first month of the season. That was our average temperature for games.
Ugh.
And then we go to Chicago, who's in our
Ugh.
division. We had to go to them twice in that month. Their visiting cages are outside.
They high schooled you.
That's so mean.
Outside.
Have,
So
have
you're
they,
like
have they upgraded the facility? Because like, wasn't
Where?
the locker rooms like high school level?
in Detroit.
No, in Chicago.
Locker rooms are right. They're small. The clubhouse isn't bad. The cages stink. Stink. Like you are there, and then they have a heater up top, but the heater doesn't even get down. It's too small, so it doesn't even like get to you, bro. It's miserable.
That's just
Then you got fans that can see you, and they just yell at you. I'm like, how are you a big league team with an outdoor cage?
So
in
they
the
use
cold.
that too?
No, we are,
Say, that's
but
what-
they have
yeah,
theirs
yeah,
under
they
the
do a little home
thing.
field cooking, dude.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, it's freezing. It's hard to play in the cold, no matter what sport.
I agree. And especially like in your first year, like in their third year, I think they'll be better at it, right? Like I think Jamar will be better at playing in the cold 2 years from now than he is now. But there's got to be some type of shock value to showing up to the stadium,
Ugh.
walking outside dressed up, and being like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, at least
And then there's
I
guys
mean-
on the team like, we don't wear sleeves here. It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
fuck
well,
you.
at least they have the
let me wear
heaters.
yours.
Yeah.
They have the heaters and they're running and they got pads and they're moving around. In baseball, you
can
just
warm up.
sit out
Yeah,
there.
That's what makes it way worse.
You just sit there and you're not moving, and it's like, whoa, this shit gets fucking cold.
Yeah.
Who is the best cold weather player? Brett Favre.
Favre? I was
Alright,
going to
talk
say
about-
Favre
yeah.
from the
Talk about
South.
Aaron Rodgers. He's talked
He
about
loves it.
He said the
Yeah.
minute I put sleeves on, my turtleneck sleeves, it's over.
Brady?
Brady's great.
But why Brett Favre? Just because he played
the
in
first
Green
person
Bay?
I think
Well,
of.
I mean,
He
he
was
played,
good.
he
Southern
played in
Miss in
Green Bay
college.
so long,
I guess,
and
but
he never changed his style, and it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was
He
minus
was
20.
blistered out there too. I would. He's the first one I think of, but it's just such a change in how to play the position. I would imagine, but Brett Favre just to sling it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodgers when he gets the old collar on, that's
Yeah.
what he
That's
says.
what he says.
That's- he
Yeah.
goes,
The
it's a
minute,
different man.
Yeah.
the minute I put the turtleneck on, it's over.
That thing looks warm.
It does. I guess
Well,
you
dude,
have
they're
to, there's,
warm.
Yeah, there's
They're
players
warm.
that I guess like that embrace that. Like if you have to be the Green Bay Packers quarterback, you have to be like, this is who I am now. I enjoy playing in cold weather. I
Yes.
have to.
It is a
If they're
mindset.
You
paying,
have
if
to
they're
change-
paying you,
It-
I mean, I remember Eddie Lacy telling stories like when he would come home, like, people would be like, "You like the cold?" And I'd be like, "Hell no, I don't like the cold." It's like, but they're paying me,
Yeah.
$3 million a year. I mean, I love the cold.
do the position.
I mean, it's like, but I mean, you can't grow to like the cold weather.
But
I
it is a
mean,
mindset. If you
I can
tell yourself
imagine.
it's cold,
I can imagine.
it's freezing.
imagine.
Yeah, that's
If you
true.
tell yourself like, no, I'm not cold, and like even if you are, and you don't allow yourself to like truly think about that, I mean, you'll be okay. I'm not gonna say you're gonna be warm, but the minute you start really feeling that cold and you start
Oh,
getting in
man,
your head,
mentally
it
you're
is
screwed.
over.
It's over.
0
Over.
for 2, sitting in the outfield.
Over.
It's like, oh, and it's cold out
God-
here.
Shivering,
Ugh,
teeth
bro.
chattering.
I hate that.
Please, God, don't hit it to me. Here comes a line drive in the gap.
God forbid
Coming
the
right
pitchers-
at you.
Ugly finder.
God
I
forbid the
mean-
pitchers can't throw fucking strikes.
Oh.
And then you're sitting out
you're-
there for 30 minutes, and you're like,
man.
and you lead off the inning, and you're like, dude, I can't even get warm before I go out to hit. Guys don't even go on deck. They get warm in the dugout,
Yeah.
and they hold their bat, and then they go out there when like the guy gets out. They don't even take warm-up swings on deck. 'cause
Does
it's so
everybody
cold.
go into the clubhouse in between at-bats and innings?
No, well, I mean, some of the pitchers may. Some guys that like start may walk in, but there's heaters in the dugout. But like,
Yeah.
they're not like it's not heated. But now, if you're in Yankee Stadium, I mean that's a different
Or
level.
the
You
Dallas
got,
Cowboys bring their own bench.
you got, he got
Nick-
heated benches. And shit.
Niquilis Dilwad, deer stand in the 30s and gotta pee is the worst. See,
Oh,
I don't hate them
God.
that much, bro. I don't hate the deer that
No,
much.
it's not
I
Whatever,
mean,
dude. You're an assassin. You took out 2 of them.
at a country club. You know what I mean?
You're sick.
I mean, we drove the truck up to a deer stand and I kept
Hit
on
it with the car.
a red turtleneck. I mean, it was
You're their
puffing
biggest
relief
enemy.
med in the open the whole morning.
Oh, that's a baby.
Is that a deer?
Shit.
You know what I mean?
My bad.
Golly, buddy, you're close.
Snap its neck.
You want some of this corn?
Go to sleep.
Did you shoot it? Did you shoot it? Dude?
2 of them.
You did.
In one shot.
Wait,
In one shot?
No, not one shot.
Oh my God!
I appreciate it.
Stop
I
Well, I
appreciate
believe
it.
everything that you
Legend.
say.
I know, I love it.
I really do.
Damn, you are gullible. Should you be running this place?
Well, maybe if you
No,
like shot
it's
through the
Lloyd.
neck and it went
Thanks.
through. I don't
Like, I
know.
We
believe
paid last month.
everything.
Okay, we're all good here. Thanks.
I haven't got my
Oh,
paycheck.
wait. Sit down.
It's Lloyd. I believe him. I don't know what it is.
Don't believe it. Out of everybody in the room.
I know,
I
but
do
I
this to a lot of people.
He does. He said that. We had this conversation before.
My friends have caught on to
You've
me.
never done it to me.
Ah,
Never.
You would never know.
That you know of.
No.
a bullshitter
I'm
knows a
always-
bullshitter.
yeah, right. I'm always a step ahead of you, you bastard.
I've played this game many a time. Shut the fuck up. What's
All
up?
right, so coming up in the second hour, we are going to talk to, we're loaded with talent in the second hour. We got Mintz, we got Brady, and we got Gordon McKernan. Gordon is hunting this morning in Kansas.
No way.
We'll
we
find
go.
out what he's hunting, where he's
He's
hunting.
manhunting for the person
Is
who
he in the
stole his
blind?
Santa Claus. Have you seen
Yes.
this?
Yes. I've
$2,000
seen it.
reward.
How do you steal
2,000?
Santa
Yes.
Claus?
It?
Well, really? That's it?
mean,
For a
from
stolen
G?
inflatable Santa?
How do you
Squeezing a little bit.
how do you steal a Santa Claus that big?
I don't know.
That
They
is
went on the. They
amazing.
took it from the interstate side
Somebody must
too.
have
Yeah.
you must have popped and deflated it.
But then what would be the point of
No,
taking
you
it?
can
Just
air
the
it-
fact that
just-
you show up back to the crib
Well,
and
what's
say, I
the
got
point of-
Gordon Santa.
I
What's the
guess
point
so.
of taking it? You can't blow it up. The minute you blow it up, you just
I mean, you definitely
Put
can't
yourself out
trailer
there.
it out of
Who
there.
knows?
This is 100% in a fraternity house somewhere.
Are there no cameras out there at his office though that would have seen this
I'd
happening?
imagine
right?
so. Well, I mean, I would just think that there's interstate cameras
Right.
that caught that.
Yeah, I mean,
If I
they're-
were going
they're-
to
yeah.
steal one,
And
it
it's
would
right
be
next to a
Penny.
hotel,
Yes.
right? So which is probably always
I think Gordon's probably more locked up than the hotel.
no doubt
is.
about it. No
sure.
doubt about it.
For sure.
But that is, you got to imagine that's a camera zone, and
Somewhere.
somebody had to see it. There's too much
that's crazy.
traffic.
That's crazy
Yeah.
to me.
I mean,
It's like a fight club.
We can ask him.
Yes.
Let's ask him about it.
It was probably some type of initiation.
Maybe it's a
100%.
publicity stunt this
I
whole
know.
time.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, that would be.
Wouldn't
That
put
would
it- that'd be
cheap.
great. That'd be
You know,
genius.
I would
we're,
imagine.
we're talking about it. so
Daily,
it
we're
works.
brought to you by Mulholland
We'll
Law.
find you.
Mulholland Law is represented right here in Baton Rouge. We have worked with them in entertainment law, and they are fantastic at that. Personal injury, wills and trust, succession and probate, family law, entertainment law. 50 years of combined experience over at Mulholland Law, and you can get in touch with them this morning by dialing 225-926-8533, 926-8533, and online at mulhollandlaw.com. Right here in Baton Rouge, 50 years of combined experience. We've been working with them. Namisha Mattel has been incredibly helpful and very easy to work with. Entertainment law is kind of how we've been using them as as we develop FM digital network and an umbrella of podcasts, and they've helped us out so much on the legal side. Let them help you today at Mulholland Law Firm. 926-8533, 50 years of combined experience. Make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button. As we said, coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning, we will talk to Ben Mintz of Barstool Sports and get an outlook on some of the bulls that may be jumping off to him in the gambling sector, and also look at this pro football lines and spreads. Is now pro football coming at you nearly every day this week with the COVID.
Under.
Yes, indeed. Under playing all day, as Mincy was telling and begging the
you're not.
Barstool faithful
So
to
good.
jump on the
I
Saints
need,
and
Matt,
the under.
I need Matt Stafford to have a big day tonight.
Who's he
boys.
got?
Who do they play?
Oof.
I need Matt
So
Stafford
locked
and
in.
Henderson.
So locked in.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they play.
Sports show, Mikey.
It doesn't matter who they play. He has to have it. He's in there. I can't take him out the lineup.
Typical fantasy footballer.
Yes. He's gotta
Stafford.
play.
Yeah.
Down by
Who do they
36.
play? I have no idea.
Seahawks.
Oh,
Rams,
yeah.
Okay, buddy.
They
Okay,
stink.
okay.
Rams
Yeah.
-7.
Is it in LA?
It is in LA.
Okay.
Over unders 46.
Covered
It's
him
a-
up.
That's a
Covered
tough
him
under
up.
to take.
Shout out to
I'll
Blake
go.
Abear, our guy, $20 super chat. We appreciate you,
Thanks,
Blake
Blake.
Abear, our official landscaper over at the New DL. And if you hadn't seen the landscape,
It looks so good.
I mean, that is one thing that I'm super proud of
I mean,
already.
It looks great.
Over at
He
the
did some
Noodle.
trimming
Blake came to my
and-
house
We
the
saw
other
your
day.
priorities.
Yes.
We saw where you were the first guy there. You don't
Yeah.
even have electricity in the spot.
The yard looks
The
great.
yard looks great.
Right?
Blake
You
came
see
to
the
my
new
house
tree
yesterday.
planted. Yeah,
He
He
came to my
did?
house. Oh yeah. He's
He's the guy,
He's gonna
bro.
get mine looking right.
he's the dude.
Yeah.
Needs to be.
Abear's Abear's Landscape and Lawn Service. Get in touch with him. He is our guy at Blake Abear and the crew. All right, coming up in the second hour, as you said, Mintzy is going to start us off. Did you see LSU baseball ranked number 3 in the
Number
country?
3,
going to the
man. That's
Sun?
huge.
Is that
Big
pressure
fan.
for our boy Jake Johnson?
No,
He loves that.
he
spot.
wants that.
Yeah, he loves that.
He wants
spot.
that.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, lineup's gonna be great. Obviously, I think their pitching's gonna be better than people think.
Yeah. Well, at least it feels like they got arms. They got like selection of arms.
They do, but they have. I think it's the mentality of that they're
Uh-huh.
teaching on the mound right now. It's more so than the actual talent the guy's gonna have on the mound. I mean, some guys are pretty solid, but they don't really have an ace yet.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna come out and be the ace, but I think they're preaching like, hey, strikes.
Wild time in LSU sports. Just
It
all
is.
of them. LSU baseball feels like
Lot of hype.
a lot of hype, but also a rebuild. A whole new staff coming in.
Yeah.
LSU football doing the same thing. You were seeing Scott Woodward at work.
It kind of feels like every 20 years LSU hits this patch, or at least since I've been alive, every 20 years. If you remember, for people that were here in the 80s, I was born in 80. And so kind of
Brag.
like early in my life, 84 was a dominant year. Like 81, they went to the Final Four, but like 86, LSU football was really good. They went to the Sugar Bowl. The LSU baseball team, first time they went to Omaha. The LSU basketball team went back to the Final Four in 86. That was kind of a 80s golden age of LSU athletics. Then you think ahead to like 2006. LSU football was in the it was in the Sugar Bowl with Jamarcus and that crew playing Notre Dame. LSU basketball was in the Final Four. LSU women's basketball was in the Final Four. And now you shuffle ahead, round about 20 years ahead, and LSU basketball is performing. Women's basketball seems to be on pace. Baseball team preseason number 3, and now you're kind of hoping and feeling that the football program will get back and stabilized and back on its feet. So it feels like every 20 years LSU kind of has ventured in and out of a real golden type of run where
Hopefully this run lasts a
all
little longer.
athletic teams are aligned. And it does feel like this one is maybe equipped to make a longer run here. John Brady would be a great resource for that coming up this morning at 8:15. He was the head coach of the 06 basketball program, and when they made that run to the Final Four in Indianapolis, and he's had a courtside seat to Will Wade the entire time that he's been here over this 5-year stretch, and it really feels like his program is about to pop. It feels like they are about to, if you don't want to accept them, you're going to have to accept them, which I think every young coach, or not every, but the majority of these young coaches, and this will be good conversation with Brady also coming up here at 8:15, have to go through. And maybe Will Wade has gone through it a little rougher than others, but I think about Rick Pitino, I think about John Calipari, I think of even Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski when they came up. There was a lot of the old guard at the time that really wanted to keep them down. I mean, Calipari is more recognizable for me because I remember that growing up when he was at UMass in his early days at Memphis. I mean, he was breaking the NCAA law when he was putting those teams together, but he was doing that because he was beating Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams and Jim Boeheim for those guys.
Right.
I mean, Marcus Camby ended up at UMass. That was a huge debacle back in the day. That was not as big of a story as Nas Reed ending up at LSU. But it's similar on its face where, people were pissed off about that. Leonard Hamilton, the head coach at Florida State, still pissed off to this day that Will Wade at 35 years old went into his backyard in Sarasota, Florida and plucked Darius Days right under his nose. Did the same thing 3 years later to Efton Reed. Leonard Hamilton turned Will Wade and LSU basketball into the NCAA. They found nothing.
What a bitch.
They found nothing.
Snake.
I mean, come on.
I mean, that's
dude.
against the code.
Meanwhile, Hamilton cheating his ass off.
Right. He's just not as good as a dog.
I
That's
mean,
all
He's
right.
just mad because he got played.
Allegedly.
By a player.
Allegedly. All of this is alleged.
All of this alleged.
Do you think that this timeline lines up the way that you and Scott Woodward are similar in age, right? Do you all similar?
No, he's significantly older than me.
Is he? I don't know,
Jeez,
dude.
boy.
Well, I'm just saying it feels like y'all are very similar.
Are you and Vital the same age?
Y'all both look great for your age. What do you want from me? That's a compliment to
man.
everyone.
That was awesome.
But
Oh, boy.
I would say it feels like y'all had similar experiences growing up with LSU and
He's
what
not
you
making eye contact
and what
with
you
you
want. But he
anymore.
looks
He's
great.
mad at you.
Jordy's a good-looking guy.
mad
There's
at
nothing
you,
wrong
man.
with
Save
that.
yourself, bro. Save yourself. Save yourself.
It's got a bad-looking man. I would say no. I feel like he looks good too for his age.
Carry
apparently.
on, you prick. What is
we
the
should
question?
I'm
move
What's
just
the
saying it
question?
feels like
Conversation.
y'all have had a very similar, like, visceral ride with LSU, and this is what he expects of it. Also, he expects it to kind of
Yes,
crescendo.
but
all
I
at the
definitely
same
think that
time.
he sees it lasting
Longer the
He-
Nick
he-
Saban era.
he wants
if Nick
that-
Saban never left.
He wants a 10-year run.
Yeah.
He wants a 10-year run.
Well, Brian Kelly.
It wouldn't surprise me, and I've got no information. This is purely speculation. If like Kelly is set up to be the next athletic director at LSU, you know what I mean? Like he gets a 6 or 7 year run here.
I don't like him that much.
I mean,
And
well,
but I mean, you
is-
want a business CEO. You want him.
Yeah,
in-
but is Woodward going to be out by that time?
I mean, he might be the president of the university.
the United
No, he just-
States.
I
He
mean,
might be the governor of the state.
I mean,
You know, what I mean, like that's the type of
Yeah,
me. That's the
true. I
type of
could see that.
aspirations that he has.
Oh, so you
Does-
think this is
his-
it for him?
No,
This
I do
would
not.
be the best job in the world, I'd imagine.
I do not.
well, unless you want to be the governor of
Oh, that
Louisiana.
sounds awful. You wake up every day just.
I would
with
never. I
problems.
mean, that's probably just politics, son. But if you want, if that's what
It's
you want,
it's cut for a certain character. It's cut for a certain personality. There's only
That
a
might
section
be.
of people in this state that are really John Stefanski, who we know well from
Yeah.
your area
Oh,
over in
yeah.
Crowley, is cut for politics, cut
Yeah.
for governorship, cut for that office. Scott Woodward is too. I mean,
What a
God
power.
forbid,
This-
What a
God forbid I
couple.
run and they dig deep.
this
into my
athletic
shit.
this
No way.
athletic director.
You don't want to get House of Cards,
No,
dude?
don't house a car. Don't fucking dig into my.
No,
Stay away from
exactly.
that.
No way.
You can
bro.
have that.
Just shoot my phone with a gun.
You can have that.
Exactly. It ain't for everybody.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it ain't for. It's not for this room.
I mean, you have to. I guess if you are going to be a politician,
Maybe- yeah, maybe Katie.
I'd like to be a first
Maybe
lady.
Katie. Okay.
Yeah, me
for
too.
Sure. For sure.
The
Boy, I
first
tell you what,
man.
that first lady sure is gullible. I mean, she gave me the keys to the Pentagon tonight.
president,
Party in the pool.
I mean, yeah.
open door
Why not?
policy.
Did you see her shoes?
Did you see her feet?
No, but some weirdo kept asking.
He's on the first floor, dude.
All right, we're
hired
back
him.
here with Ben Mintz from Barstool Sports Daily. We're brought to you by GoFlow IV, GoFlowIV.com. Get in touch with our friends over there. Brett and his crew are always ready for you. GoFlow IV, GEAUX, FlowIV.com. They got memberships available over there, 3-month, 6-month, and annual memberships. Whether you suffer from chronic dehydration or chronic illness, GoFlow is a great spot to get your energy back. That is Baton Rouge's premier medical spa, specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion, illness recovery, athletic performance. If you want to replenish electrolytes and vitamins after your workout, GoFlow IV, GEAUX, FlowIV.com. Don't forget they'll come to you. If you want to book them for a big business meeting, if you want to bring them to the office, if you want to bring them to a Christmas party,
That'd be awesome.
what a
GoFlow
move that
IV.
would be.
That'd be a power move.
Wow.
GEAUX, FlowIV.com. It's very easy to do. Get in touch with them. GEAUX, FlowIV.com. Ben Mintz next here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Even Brett can do it, apparently.
It's the owner. The dick. And he's young. He is my age.
Not Rhett. Who's wrong? He's young. He's me.
True Blue Water. True hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Flow IV and Spa, 7970 Jefferson Highway is where you can find them, or you can simply go online to goflowiv.com. Go Flow IV Spa is a medical spa that specializes in IV hydration with vitamin infusion. At Go Flow IV Spa, they can help you with a wide range of issues, from skin care to illness recovery, athletic performance, hangover cure, chronic illness, and even chronic dehydration. GoFlowIV.com, or stop in and see them, 7970 Jefferson Highway. Robert Miller with the super chat inside of the bunker. $5. We appreciate you, Bobby. Jordy, you're smarter than that. Next AD is Kim Mulkey. Book it. You're right, Robbie.
It's a good call.
That is a great call.
That is a great call,
And
actually.
if my debate was ruled next to your debate, you would be right. I would take Kim Mulkey over Brian Kelly.
Changed my mind.
At this point, you've changed my mind. After hearing your answer, we are legitimately smarter for that.
Open
After
forum,
yours,
man. That's a
Culotta,
great
we are
pick.
all legitimately dumber.
Yep, thank you.
Take Lloyd and get the hell out of here.
The guy that tied a hook.
Ben Mintz has found his way at Barstool Sports. Very hard to do in our business is to get on a platform that is dominated by big personalities. And yesterday, Big Cat Dave Portnoy and Tommy Stats was on the Barstool scene yesterday, and Ben Mintz, with just a little top hat and a sport coat on behind a desk, was playing nothing but Benny Mintz, and he took over this Barstool scene. We are retweeting it from our Twitter account. I retweeted it from my personal account. But it is some of your best work, Benny. Congratulations. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm back. I'm glad to be back in the South. I'm in Louisiana. I'm thrilled to be back, getting out of New York, because couldn't get out of couldn't get out of New York fast enough. Just how the last week went with the Omicron, getting everywhere. But man, I'm doing great. You referred to Barstool Sports Advisors last week, and I made my debut on there. Shout out to Tommy Smoke, good dude. So I played the Stat Boy, which is his role. He actually was sick because he caught COVID. And Big Cat and Tommy, I guess, hit me up. I walked in the office on Wednesday morning. Big Cat's like, Dipsy, we want you to be the Stat Boy this week on Advisors. And I was like, oh, yeah, big opportunity here immediately. And Advisors every week, you hadn't watched it. So it's Sue Feiner, Dave Portnoy, Big Cat, and then Hannah is the weather girl. And usually Tommy's the stat guy. And he always wears that overcoat and that hat you're referring to. And Stat Boy role is a role pretty much made for me, because I was with the Stat Boy in high school. I mean, I was like, that's like always what I used to do. I've always been kind of a stat nerd. That's always kind of been how my mind works. And I got to be honest, I felt so comfortable on there on Wednesday, and that was a spot. Like, I mean, I haven't really been nervous too much during the Barstool stuff, but I just sat down. I was like, this is going to be awesome. It's Stu Finer, who I've got to be real close with, and David Dan, and I didn't do anything but let it fly. And then if y'all haven't seen the advisors, the editing on advisors is as cutting edge as any show I've ever seen. And Quiggs, our guy who does it, does all the effects. Then you see all the following my eyes and my mannerisms and stuff. And if y'all hadn't checked it out, check out the Barstool Sports Advisors from last week. And the feedback, Jordy, was just incredible. I mean, it pumped me up. I just went through that YouTube chat. Everybody was giving me so much props, and it was funny. I had a minor role on the show, and it was like, actually, it was fun being on there with Dave and Dan and Stu, and the show actually was like, I was like one of the main roles. And I just thought it was awesome. And then the big story that Jordy's referring to is Dave Portnoy was like fixated on me and Jambalaya somehow. I don't really get it. I mean, I know it's because I'm from Louisiana, but like, he just always goes off on these rants about me, like Jambalaya. I don't know. I hadn't really figured it out. I'm thinking he doesn't get the culture really.
Right.
And he so he's like, we're going to give you this.
You ride alligators to work down there.
He's appropriating the culture.
Right.
Yeah, so he was like, we're going to give you this jambalaya chain, and he was leaning to take it Saints to the over. And as he was telling me this, I'm like, Dave, you don't want to take this over. Like, I mean, come on. Like, Brady always plays like crap against the Saints. Still, like, you know, the Saints don't have a passing game, and the Bucs have a great run team. And it, like, shocked them all that I, like, interrupted, like, my chance to get this thing. But then, you know, you saw the game Sunday night, and the glorious 9-0 win. I mean, one of my favorite Saints games I've ever watched in my entire life as a Saints fan. And, you know, seeing all that. And then I ripped a funny post-game video where I was just chirping at Dave and Stephen Shea in front of my buddy's Christmas tree that went off on the internet. It got like 300K views on Monday. And so, yeah, it was kind of awesome, too. Just being realistic, really just ending the year at Barstool. You know, it feels really good.
Absolutely. Benny Mintz is joining us here from the great state of Louisiana. What's the schedule like? I got to imagine up in North Louisiana right now, you're a rock star. What's it been like being home, bro?
So I'm starting. It's funny because people like Big Cat. People always laugh at like the way I always like everywhere doing stuff all the time. So I'm starting to just hashtag Nipsey tour on it, and it started. So actually, I want to say I had a blast, Jordy. I know you're close to Will Wade, the LSU basketball program. Yeah. I was at the game Saturday night in Shreveport in Bossier, and man, the atmosphere was awesome. I was happy for North Louisiana. It was about 60-40 LSU as far as fans. It's LSU Louisiana Tech game, but you know, Tech caught them in a good spot where you know how fired up Tech is to get LSU up in North Louisiana. I mean, that happens once every like 20 years.
Right.
So, and Tech jumped them. It was up 35-27 at half, and I thought LSU made awesome adjustments at the half. They went like 22 points in the second half, and you know, that's kind of been the theme of this team so far. You know, it's incredible how good a defense they play, and especially when you look at how LSU played the last few years under Wade. They were so talented, but you know, it certainly was not a defensive squad, and that says a lot about Will Wade. Just like, you know, a good coach adapts to the personnel and team he has, you know, and I think that says a ton about Will. And, you know, I thought that was a gritty effort. I know it's never going to look sexy to, like, beat Louisiana Tech or anything if you're an LSU fan, but, you know, the way that first half went, I mean, I thought LSU came out and locked it down and played great in the second half, and they showed some mettle on the road there, even if it wasn't, like, a major win. I had a blast at that game. I went to the Independent. I flew back late Thursday night. We had a mixing it up with Mintz reunion at Margaritaville Boats for Friday at Penn Casino, which I got to be honest, I love. You know, got to see all my old friends that were part of it for 4 years, and you know, y'all know my story. I mean, I didn't ever really get to say goodbye up here, so so enjoyed that. And then I went to the second half of the Indy Bowl because it was raining and windy so hard the first half. And BYU UAB was a good game. From here, I'm going to do Monroe Christmas, and then I'm actually shooting to be at Baton Rouge. I don't know what y'all's plans are. Next Monday night, I want to watch Saints Dolphins at Baton Rouge.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it up at LaBerge. I'm going to kind of make an appearance there for Penn. But I'm kind of trying to get together a little watch party for Saints Dolphins and promote the Barstool Sportsbook app that's coming in a couple months. Obviously, you can bet at LaBerge, and all of a sudden, that's a fun game after the Saints are now 7-7 and taking the playoff race. And then from there, Jordy, it's time to go to New Orleans for New Year's, for the Sugar Bowl. Keep a close eye on stuff coming out with Ole Miss football. Me too. That's going to be fun. Going to do the Sugar Bowl New Year's, and then the Saints play the Panthers on Sunday the 2nd. So, and then after that, I'm actually going to Houston. I'm finishing it in Houston. I'm going to the Texas Bowl to check that out too. Going to the LSU K-State, and then I fly back to Houston, New York on January 5th. So we got a good little run.
That's a big schedule.
Hashtag Mincy Tour.
Damn.
Follow it on social media. Mincy, just saying, you know a guy, I got a guy. The Barstool Sportsbook would be a great fit and a great look on the Jordy Culotta show. I'm not begging. I'm not desperate.
Look,
I'm just saying.
I assure you, Jordy, I've already told people that, and I'm vouching for it. I assure you that thought has gone through my head already, and I'm certainly going to do everything I can to help. I love being a part of the Jordy Culotta show, and I always say, I mean, like I look at everything that's happened for me, which is just so insane to like look back on it all. But man, I really say this all the time. I had a pretty good show at Shreveport Bossier, but I would have been just kind of stuck up here doing that in oblivion if I hadn't gotten on there and started doing the Six Pack show. And I think that in 2017 and getting in that Baton Rouge and South Louisiana energy and inertia really kind of got this going, to be truthful. So yeah, I'd love to do that.
My guy, Mincy, love you, buddy. What do you think about NIL? How is it affecting sports, and how do you see it kind of growing here? Because it's kind of going wild. We just saw how wild it was with National Signing Day.
Okay, so look, I'm all about these players getting their money. Look, let me be abundantly clear. I think when you look, especially in football, I mean you only have a few years of your prime. So many talented, great players come from homes that don't have all that much money. So I got no problem with people getting their money and getting fair value. What's unfortunate, it's the best thing that's ever happened to the Texas schools, though. Because now when you're Ole Miss or whatever, you got to get bidding wars of Texas A&M. I mean, you pass around your biggest boosters and think you're giving a good offer, and they just laugh in your face, fly over it, And then you look at A&M, get the number 1 recruiting class in Texas, go win 4 games, get the Quinn Ewers, from Ohio State back. It's literally the best thing that ever happened to those two schools specifically. Yeah. How deep their pockets are. But I still don't have I know it's got to be insane to manage as a coach, but I'm not a fan of this old school, like, student athlete, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, look how much money the SEC Network TV deal is. I'm glad the players getting their share of the pie. They deserve it. I think the student athlete thing's been a joke forever. And so I'm not one of these old school people saying the game's being ruined or anything. I think, people in life, I mean, you know exactly how it is in business, man. When it's your time in the sun, you got to maximize it, and you never know what's going to happen in life. So I'm happy for the players. I do think one thing Lane Kiffin brought up the other day, he was saying, he's like, look, I mean, all these deals are being done without contracts. I mean, how many people are getting promised the moon here and are going to get screwed out of money? Yeah. And that's something to watch out for going forward, I think.
No, there's definitely there's a grimy part to it, man. There's a disgusting part to it for sure. Mincy, enjoy Louisiana. Mark us down for Monday night. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see LeBaron's on Monday night. Let's do it big, and I'll try to get down there. I'd like to come by the UDL. Hopefully I'll be able to come by there either Monday morning or Tuesday morning. We'll make it happen.
What about some? Yeah, whoa, Mincy.
No,
oh, he's gone.
That was my fault. That was my fault.
Panic
Remember,
from everybody.
every day, yes. City Cafe, citycafebr.net. City Cafe is online at citycafebr.net. Located on O'Neill and George O'Neill is where you can find them. Lunch day specials, always the best lunch day specials that you can find. Changing Daily, Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, Dirk and the crew. Every Sunday, brunch cranks up at 10 a.m. Find them online at citycafebr.net. LSU Basketball with former LSU head coach and SEC legend John Brady next year on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Backward show.
What?
We did like a backward show. Usually we do like all of the fodder at the end, and today we did at the beginning and all the interviews at the end.
That's
versatile.
True, we do.
Hey, you adapt.
That's right.
Evolve.
You move forward.
That's who we are.
Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, our friends down in Laplace, Louisiana, over here in Baton Rouge with the Go Express Auto Sales used car lot, and, of course, up at Tennessee. Find them online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. We were talking about golden ages of LSU sports, and our next guest was the head coach of the basketball team during the last golden age that the basketball squad ran through. That was that 11-year run that John Brady was here. The majority of those years spent in the tournament and pumping out pros, SEC Players of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Defensive Players of the Year. And in 2006, they were in the Final Four alongside the women's program who was there, and the LSU football team was playing in the Sugar Bowl. It kind of feels like that now. We will talk to John Brady about that, but we welcome you into this conversation here on this Tuesday morning. Coach, if I had told you back in 2003, when you were recruiting Tack Minor, that you would be back nearly 20 years later as a featured speaker at his Jersey retirement, what would you have said? Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Well, sometimes as a coach, Tack was a great talent and had a huge personality. And in high school, he averaged, 36, 37 points a game and kind of did what he wanted to do. So when he came here, he had to kind of play within a system or a team and share the ball more. And, he and I fought each other on that little bit about how the game should be played. He had some great moments here, but he also had some tough moments because I had to suspend him for a semester and a lot of things went on there. And as a coach, you always wonder if you've made the right decisions or done the right thing with the young guys that play for you. And I was always concerned about that, and did I do the right thing with Tack? And when he called me to ask me to come to his Jersey retirement and speak at halftime of the game, I was honored and shocked and thrilled and really humbled by it. And he's turned out well. He's a postman now. He's into some construction with a friend of his. They rehab some homes and that sort of thing. And he's got a family, and there was a lot of love in there for him that night, and I was honored to be there. And so that kind of certified a little bit that maybe I did make the right decisions with him and made him see some things at that time of his life he really didn't see, but he certainly sees them now. And I guess that's why he called me and wanted me to be a part of it, and I was honored.
He came on a couple of days later, I believe the morning after, and he talked about y'all's relationship, and he said just exactly that, just how much the lessons had hit home over the days and time and how much love he had for you, and it was great to see that picture that we have up now. It was also good to see the picture of you, Antonio Hudson, and Stromile Swift from this past weekend at Bossier City. It's got to be cool to run into your players like that on the road at LSU events where you guys have so much in common.
Yeah, and especially when they're doing well and they're happy and they're and they're progressing and they're contributing something back to living, and that's all part of it. They're going to go through a part where the basketball's going in and what are they going to do from that point on, and that's really going to mark their legacy that they leave. And both those guys are doing really well. And everybody knows how great Stromile was. He was the second pick in the NBA draft, first-team All-American, MVP of the SEC, all that sort of thing. Antonio Hudson, probably one of the most underappreciated players, one of the ones that I coached. He had a great career at LSU and made the All-SEC tournament team a couple of times over there, and we had some really good teams with him on them. And people don't really think about him in the light that I think he needs to be thought about, because he was a really good player for us and consistent player in his 4 years.
He could shoot the hell out of it back in the day. Coach John Brady joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. LSU basketball, first time undefeated or first time at 11-0 since your 2000 squad, mentioning Antonio Hudson and Stromile Swift. Coach, you got to look at this squad and look at defense. It's got to take you back watching this team play, because it it feels like a lot of the squads that you coached in the rate that they play defense on that end of the floor. What are you seeing?
Well, there's no question. I mean, the stats bear it out. All you've got to do is look up, see who's first in the country in field goal percentage defense and who's first in the country in points allowed or second in the country, whatever the numbers are across the board. Plus they're averaging, I don't know, almost 13 steals a game and forcing 19-plus turnovers a game, and those are all winning numbers. And the big thing for me is when you can hold it, you can make a team miss, and then you can go rebound the ball and not give up a lot of offensive rebounds. They have a tough time scoring, and then they're playing really good defense without fouling. I think opponents are only making 11 or 12 free throws a game against LSU. So that's all winning numbers, and I've always thought that defense is effort, and effort can be played with every night, and defense travels. I mean, you can take a good defending team on the road and have a chance to win. And shooting sometimes comes and goes, as we've seen it with this particular team. If they keep defending, I think this team now is convinced that if we do guard and rebound and play with a tremendous amount of effort, we're always going to keep the score workable and have a chance to even come back as they did against Georgia Tech, 15 down, and come back the other night 13 down and win games by continuing to defend and rebound, and the offense all of a sudden shows up. So it's fun to watch. Anybody that plays with effort and gives the effort that this team is giving, it's inspiring to watch, and I think that's one of the reasons the fans have caught on early to this team and appreciate what they're doing.
The best offense that they run is initiated by their defense. What do you see from them offensively that is fixable or that they can get right before conference play?
Well, here's the thing a coach has to ask himself, and I think Coach Wade has addressed this with the team. He addressed it the other night. The coach can control, for the most part, who shoots the ball in from where. Now, he can't control if it goes in the basket or not, but what he can control is the quality of the shot that the team takes. And I think that's how you grade the offense. I don't think we take some quick shots occasionally, and I think sometimes we take a couple of bad shots along the way, but a lot of teams do that. Several teams always take some bad shots during the course of the game. The quality of the shot that we take most of the time is pretty good. If it goes in or not, that's on the particular player. It's not on the coach. And I think for the most part, Will's got them thinking right about what a shot is. And I think Darius Days at times may shoot it a little quick from the three and settle for that. But I liked the other night that he went around the goal and scored some baskets in close, but he also kept playing because he got 18 rebounds. So that's a good sign for any player. He's not influenced by making the baskets. He contributed, found a way to help the team in another way with 18 rebounds, and that's a good thing for a player to be able to have.
Tari Eason, how good is he? Does he remind you of anyone? Because he affects the game in so many ways.
Well, he's kind of a complete player. He's long like some players that we had, but he also can put it on the floor. He can take it to, and he's a good enough shooter where they have to come out and respect him. And I think he's emerged as LSU's best player because he's LSU's most consistent player on both ends of the floor. And we've had guys have big games and not so good at games, but he's been pretty level across the board. And the thing that's striking to me about his personality, and I'm sure Coach Wade has something to do with this, and Coach Wade understands his team better than anyone. Our best players coming off the bench. I mean, how many times in college basketball do you see that? And when Eason and Gaines come in the game, something's going to happen, particularly with Gaines. But Eason is emerged, in my opinion, as our best player because he's our most consistent player.
Coach John Brady joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Xavier Pinson and this backcourt, how have you seen the development there? Because it looks like the light is starting to come on, or it looks like he's starting to find at least his comfort level here at LSU and really starting to play within his own. I
agree, and the coaching staff there, Coach Wade and his coaching staff, really hit on the portal with those two guys, Eason and Pinson. And I think Pinson is a stabilizer. I think he's not a shot searcher. I think he's a shot maker, but he doesn't search it. I think he takes it when it's there. He knows when to drive it. He's a very good defender. And I think he adds a stability to this team and a comfort zone with Coach Wade. And, I think Will, with this team, it seems like he's more comfortable coaching this team than any team he's had at LSU. and they seem to fit. And I see him more relaxed. He challenges them. They respond, and I think there's a lot of positive stuff going through that team now when I watch him play. And also, and Eason and Pinson are certainly two important guys that they got through the portal that they hit on.
Yeah. I don't know if a lot of people realize how hard it is to stay undefeated in 2 months in college basketball. You've done it. This is the first LSU basketball team to do it since you did it back in 2000. How have you seen this team grow along the way? How have you seen – because, like you said, I agree with you. Wade seems very comfortable coaching this team, but in return, this team seems very comfortable within their own skin.
Yeah, sometimes, everybody was concerned about the players LSU lost and then the amount of players, the new players that they were bringing in. And sometimes, it works for you. I don't think Coach Wade in his wildest dreams thought they would be undefeated at this particular time of the year. That's always a goal, to play the best basketball you possibly can with the collection of players you have, and I think that's what he's done. And when teams develop a camaraderie within themselves, and they have a trust factor within themselves, and they don't really care who's scoring it as long as we're scoring it, and they don't care who's the star defender is as long as we're defending well, fans sense that through this team, and I think that's another reason fans have responded. Our team in 2000 and certainly the Final Four team in 06 just had something about it. You could tell that they're special, and I think this team has developed that as well.
It looks like LSU opens up conference play with Murderers Row, going to Auburn, coming back home to host Kentucky and Tennessee. I know that you are you love the game. You watch a ton of basketball. What are your thoughts on the league going into it, just a week away?
Well, honestly, I thought the league was going to really be strong. I thought there were going to be 7 teams that were going to really be good, but after looking at scores and some struggles that some of these teams have had with some lesser teams, I'm not sure. But certainly, I think LSU is the best team in the league at this particular moment. And then then you got Alabama and Auburn, and then I'm looking for a fourth team. Is it Tennessee? Is it Kentucky? I think Arkansas is a little overrated. I think their coach is more concerned about winning the social media poll than he is coaching his team. And I think since they've lost a couple here, he's kind of backed off promoting himself, and I think he needs to promote his team by the way they play. But I'm not sure about the league. But that's in LSU's favor, and I'm not concerned about how good the league is or not. But since you asked me the question, that's my opinion. But I think the game, we got a game Wednesday against Lipscomb, and certainly LSU would have to not be ready to play and Lipscomb do something spectacular to win the game. So let's say we progress and we beat Lipscomb. That game in Auburn, for Auburn and for LSU as well, is going to be a good test for both those teams, and a really good test for LSU to be able to go on the road and defend a team that's really offensive-oriented like Auburn. Auburn's an offensive team. They're going to run them down the floor. They're going to shoot some threes. They're going to go to the board and see if the defending that we've established to this point, I think it will travel on the road, and I think that's going to be a really outstanding college basketball game in Auburn.
2006 will be a year that a lot of many Tiger fans remember forever. Your team went to the Final Four. The women's team went to the Final Four. Simone Augustus was on campus, and the LSU football team was playing in the Sugar Bowl versus Notre Dame and dominating the Irish at the time. 86 was the same way. Sugar Bowl, couple of Final Fours. College baseball team went to the World Series for the first time. It feels like right now LSU sports is aligned, where they've got the right leaders in place at the right spots. Being a part of that, do you feel that? And what is it like on and in a campus when the leadership is correct for all programs to succeed?
Well, I think certainly Will Wade of those coaches of those major sports, and certainly Kim Mulkey has proven at Baylor how good she is, and Will has done it at LSU. Now, the two coaches we have coming in, the baseball coach and the new football coach, they haven't proven that at LSU, because every time a new coach comes in, he's always gets the benefit of the doubt and the support, and everybody feels good about it. Let's see if those coaches, and I think they can, and I'm not saying I doubt them, but let's see if they can do what Will Wade's done in his 3 or 4 years here, is put this team, this LSU basketball program, in a situation to be as good as anybody in the country. I think they can, and I think they will. Kim's on her way to doing that. I think time will tell how the football hire and how the baseball hire, develops.
I know that I'm not trying to apply any pressure on anyone, but you know the game. It feels like Coach Wade's team and program is about to pop. It feels like he's been knocking on the doorstep. Tournament team 3 years in a row, competing in the tournament last year to the finals versus Alabama. This year off to an 11-0 start. You've got a 5-star committed to the program. It really feels like momentum is about to kind of bust through to the national scene with this. Do you feel that?
Oh yeah, I think it's been percolating for a while, and I think what he's done to this point has been outstanding. I don't to go to the Final Four and those kinds of things have to fall into place. No injuries, have to win some close games, hit some big shots. The Michigan game last year easily could have went LSU's way. The championship game in the SEC should easily. And if you keep at that level and keep knocking on the doors, you said, good things can happen. But I think it's just a matter of time. I don't think you have to win a national championship to validate what you're doing. I think we those kinds of things are too much pressure to validate what he's done by winning a national championship. I think eventually that will come. You never know. It might not. He may knock on that door for 10 years. But I think what he's done to this point shows what he can do with the LSU basketball program, and everybody just needs to get behind it, stay behind it, go for the ride, and enjoy it while it's happening.
An SEC legend, former LSU basketball coach, needs to be in the LSU Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, and is a part of the LSU radio broadcast as the color commentator on the basketball games. A great friend of our show, John Brady. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate it, Jordy. Thank you.
Yes, sir. There was Coach John Brady checking in. He is the best at what he does. Color commentary in basketball on radio is probably the hardest job in entertainment, in broadcast entertainment. And John Brady and Chris Blair do that as smooth and
Sometimes
as good as a pair as
you read
anybody.
the other lineups for the other teams. Sometimes you don't get the starting 5 right. You just flip them.
Yeah. For a half, Coach.
For a whole half.
For a whole half. For a whole half.
The feeling.
Game moves fast sometimes.
I was flying back with the team that I was calling the other team. I mean, it was bad. It was low point. Low point for your boy. We have just got confirmation here on the Jordy Culotta show that former
Nobody tells
LSU,
you. How do you know?
Yeah, you just don't know, man.
But
you will know if you screw it up.
Yes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
Well,
will.
Grandma got you.
LSU linebackers coach, former linebackers coach, Blake Baker, going to stop by the show here at 9 a.m. this morning. So we'll be good to catch up with Coach Baker here as he has finished up a very successful recruiting cycle and is coming into a bowl preparation in which he just learned that he will not be retained by Brian Kelly. We'll ask him about his experience at LSU, coaching Damon Clark here in what has been an incredible year where Damon Clark was left off of all of the accolades and all of the All-American lists. We will talk to Coach Baker about that and what could be next. He's got a great personality and a lot of love for football, so it shouldn't be but a matter of time here before Coach Baker is picked up. We'll ask him about what could be next for him. That'll be at 9 a.m. this morning, and in 10 minutes from now, we will go up to Kansas, hopefully to a hunting blind somewhere, and talk to Gordon McKernan, who inked an NIL deal with Alexis Morris, the starting point guard for the LSU women's basketball team. It's a great story for Morris. We will let Gordon tell that a little bit. We will also ask him if he can save Keyshawn, for God's sakes.
Get in the game.
And he is the model that we have talked about for weeks. I had no idea that Gordon McKernan was trying and getting into the NIL space, but now that he is in the space, we will ask him if he wants to change the space because he has the wherewithal to do that. He's got the financial security and he's got the love for LSU sports. Both check the two top boxes that you must have if you're really going to be a player in NIL with a university. So we'll ask Gordon McKernan what his aspirations are as this NIL stuff really kind of starts to unfold in front of our face as we see Texas A&M and Alabama picking up recruiting classes. We gave you the Michigan State story up at East Lansing where an alum, Matt Ishbia, who played and was a walk-on the Michigan State 2000 National Championship team, has gone on to run a very successful mortgage company up in Michigan. He donated $32 million to the athletic department last year just for facilities, and has now inked a deal with all scholarship athletes, both on the men's basketball and football team, which is going to pay them a base salary, which is not a lot, but just a base salary for every scholarship player that we've mentioned in both men's basketball and football, $500 a month. That gets Tom Izzo and Mel Tucker something to arm themselves with in recruiting, to talk to recruits with. I wonder if Gordon McKernan has aspirations to do something like that.
$50K a month? There's probably 100 players on scholarship there.
So it's 85 football players, and it's what you've got 13. So right around 100. Yeah, let's call it 100. Let's call it 100.
50K. Yeah. 50K a month.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Right. 500 times 100. That's 50,000, right?
This is a dangerous game
Watch
you're
out,
playing, Mikey.
We don't like to talk numbers.
Math.
Pretty sure that's 50,000.
We don't like to do math.
Live math on the show.
What are your numbers over there, athlete?
$500 times 100.
Times 100.
50,000, right?
50K. Just like you said.
There we go.
Just like Mikey told everybody. 50K. 50K for everybody. 50K a month for Ishbia, and I know 50,000 a month. I mean, that is a ton of money for 99% of our listening audience, right? 99% of the state. That's a ton of money. To Gordon McKernan, that's in his ashtray. That's in his couch.
Gosh, in his ashtray.
You know what I mean?
He's already got a new Santa.
You know what I mean? Like, that's in his duck blind. I mean, like,
sneezed it out.
Throw 50K in the air. Pull!
Yeah. Fun coupons.
Right. NIL deal for you. NIL deal for you. Kayshawn, come back.
What a power move to be able to do. You know what? I'm going to get in the game. I'm going to get in the NIL game. And it's like, no, not me. I'm saying if you're him, be like, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this today. And it's like, I got 50K to blow.
I'm going to change the game.
Change the game.
I'm changing the game today.
In case you understand.
Hey, what's the deal with these squeezy things y'all are doing? Like, why do y'all have matching ones?
Well, this was in here.
I got a 2-for-1 on Amazon. One day I walked to the front door, and I mean, it was just like overloaded with packages. I thought I had hit the lottery, and I opened up, and it was nothing but a bunch of stress relievers.
What, is that what it is?
It's a forearm. It's like grip strength.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all are trying to
jealous because you don't have one?
I'm just curious. Like, all I see is y'all doing
They're
this.
$500 a pair. You want one?
You just put it all the way up.
Gordon, I have some I can sell you.
We can make them in high tops, too.
You like mid blue?
Are y'all trying to improve your grip for some reason?
No, it's just kind of here. You know
what? It helps me think.
It does?
it?
Kind of. I mean, it just kind of gets me into a space.
Okay,
right?
there you go.
I like that.
Leave me alone, man.
There you go.
Well, you acted like it was like difficult earlier. Like
I was doing individual, so I was trying to go pinky.
Well, you can change the weight on these, like the tension. I guess. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just been meaning to
improving
ask
all the time. Always
squeezing things.
Always getting better. 1% better every day.
That's it.
That's it.
Daily, we're brought to you by Edward Jones. Shout out to the crew over at Daniel Newman, Edward Jones. Mark it down. On January 8th,
yes.
LSU Tennessee basketball game. Daniel Newman is throwing a tailgate in in parking lot 108. We will get you the details on it, but going to crank it up about 1 o'clock. We're going out there. If you're a listener, everybody is invited. Newman is
like, shit.
No. This is Newman called. He called for the smoke yesterday at lunch.
He did.
He has called for the power. He wants it the power of the microphone and told everybody to show up. This is Saturday, January 8th, LSU basketball versus Tennessee. Newman's going to be there. He's going to be out cooking, just wearing everybody out with his basketball knowledge.
Microphone.
Yes. And he does need a podcast. I told him that yesterday. He cares way too much about basketball not to be talking about it.
He is, just to nobody.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
You're already doing the show,
people
dude.
are they're just kind of like rolling there. What does my portfolio look like, bro?
But if you see LSU and they get in the half-court
Right.
trap, that's really what they're at their
This
best.
is what they need to do. Give me a marker. If they would just screen this bottom corner right here and cut the guy to the goal, it's a layup.
Anyway, Will,
Get in touch with Daniel Newman. Yes, but Edward, your portfolio looks great. Edward Jones, Daniel.Newman at EdwardJones.com. Daniel.Newman at EdwardJones.com.
Maybe he'll give out a couple of door prizes of those hoodies because they are so soft.
Yes.
We told him that
They
yesterday.
are.
Yeah.
It looks like a couple of people internally are kind of calling Daniel like, how'd the guy on the podcast get the hoodie? You know what I mean?
Branding,
We know who you are out there asking your questions.
Comfortable hoodies go a long way.
They
Got to hit that monthly
Long
quota
way.
like Daniel
They
is,
do.
buddy.
If you want a comfy hoodie, go to jordy.itemorder.com.
That's
Yeah.
right,
Hey,
Lloyd.
good.
That's
Good
right,
shit,
Lloyd.
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 Let's
Yeah.
go.
Learning the ways over there.
Let's
And
go.
Cody Edwards was at the Central Episcopal basketball game last night.
Okay.
So I picked up some merch for him, and I need to give it to you, a pair of the socks with the new logo, and they're so
Oh,
cute.
nice.
Aw, and you can get them at jordy.itemorder.com.
Boom.
They're really cute.
Scott Oldham, when does Jordy Show give an athlete an NIL deal? Scott, catch up, bro.
Yes,
K-Sean and BJ
Scott.
every Sunday night.
Hey.
And we are talking about doing some basketball stuff here with the basketball season coming up. All right, we're going to talk to Gordon McKernan next. The NIL stuff is going buck wild, and it is happening all over the country. Alexis Morris down here at LSU is in the game. She got into it with Gordon McKernan. We're going to talk to Gordon McKernan next about how he got into the NIL space, and for God's sakes, if he is going to save LSU's football's life and keep Keishawn Butte on campus. That all coming up next year on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
No pressure, Gordon. Get it done.
That's his slogan, man.
Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. Two spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. All right, we go up to Kansas to a duck blind to Gordon McKernan, who is gotten to the NIL space. We told you and been talking about it a lot during this show that Alexis Morris, the starting point guard for the LSU women's basketball team, came to an agreement yesterday and was publicly acknowledged that Gordon McKernan and her had gone into an NIL relationship. We have talked a lot about this recruiting. LSU won some recruiting battles last Wednesday in football. They lost the recruiting war to Texas A&M and Alabama. The way that they become a player in that war is that you have to become relevant in the NIL space. Somebody within the NIL space that has deep, deep pockets and that has passionate love for the university is really the model that you're looking for. Gordon McKernan checks both of those boxes. He undyingly loves LSU, and he's got deep pockets. And as we said yesterday, he got into the NIL space with Alexis Morris, and he is eager to change the game. And we are thankful that he is here on this Tuesday morning. G, thank you for the time. Good morning. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Jordy. I'm doing great, and up here in Kansas, a little cold this morning, but looking forward to shooting more birds today.
Yes, sir. So tell us about the relationship with Alexis. She's got a great story, by the way, that I know that the public is going to know. But why NIL with Alexis starting off?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I guess it started. I met with Coach Mulkey when she came to town, and just to get to know her a little bit and see what type of lady she is, and she's dynamic and has a lot of force of personality, and figured that was something that I might want to figure out if we could have a relationship together, the LSU women's basketball team and my company. And through that, just started looking into it and digging into it, and thought what better way to first support them than to get one of their star players an NIL deal, because the women's sports are behind the men's sports in the NIL world. And I thought it would be a good first move. Go support a LSU women's basketball, a player such as Alexis, who does have a compelling story, and that's what we decided to do. So we want to enter the space in different areas and do a deeper dive. We're trying to process through all the restrictions and regulations, but do have some ideas for LSU football and LSU men's baseball and basketball. So we want to be a big player in the space.
As somebody who can really change up this space, Gordon, what is your outlook for NIL?
Yeah, when you look at it, it's apparent that the rich are getting richer, right? You can see it real quickly. Alabama is cutting edge and leading in a lot of this area. Texas A&M is coming on strong. And it seems like the other SEC schools have not figured it out. And there can't be any coordination between the school or the athletic department or the booster clubs such as TAF and the student athlete and the prospective business owner. So somehow the Alabamas and Texas A&Ms are coordinating it. I'm not saying directly, but
sure,
there's something happening over there which doesn't appear to be happening yet for the LSU programs.
But we believe that is in motion, correct?
Yes, yeah, I do think that's in motion. Again, there can be no coordination. It's going to take some local or statewide companies or boosters to try to figure this out. I have a few ideas, and again, I approach LSU, but they can't, of course, talk about it. So it's got to be something organic, detached from the program.
Yeah.
But I do have an idea, and it's not something that I'm trying as a business owner making money on it. I don't want to make any money, but it seems to me there needs to be a matching up of the talent with the companies without any intermediary taking money. If you really want it to be successful, I'm not knocking any companies that are trying to do that. But my whole drive is how can we as business owners get a benefit, some advertising, but more importantly, how can we advance the opportunities for these NIL student athletes?
Yes, and I very much look forward to talking to you further about that, because I think that there is grand opportunities in all spaces along college sports right now. Is this wild to you as a business owner looking at the landscape of college sports? You're very passionate about it. I know your son was in college football for a while, and that you're a huge supporter of it. What is your point of view of the business of college sports now?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. It's intriguing, right? I mean, obviously there's the college sports and recruiting. It's always been a business, whether it's above the board or under the board for many, many years, as we all hear stories throughout the years. But it's a little surreal when NIL broke last year. Several student athletes and their agents reach out to our company. We're pretty prolific in advertising, and we're pitching their deck, so to speak, to us. And I'm scratching my head, going, who is whispering in these people's ears to think that $50,000 for 2 social media posts? Any business owner would do that, right? I mean, it's just you're not going to do it. What I'm sure most business owners like myself is, you're looking for a little bit more systemic relationship through a season, right? And a partnership between the student athlete, not just some one-off text. So that's what we've done with Alexis Morris, and that's what we're going to do with anybody. It's going to be a relationship, a partnership, and that's the way it should be.
When you see Keishawn Butte out there, and there's a lot of talk and chatter around him, are you spurned to get into conversations with him because it looks like that there are other schools going at him?
Yeah, it's an interesting. Yes, I am interested in it. I sure am.
Please.
But there is. I want to make sure that I do everything right, so I don't jeopardize any any eligibility or something for the student athlete, and certainly not run afoul of any rules. So I literally had, one of my lawyers researching that this week. Are there any restrictions from me reaching out unsolicited, to solicit him without any prior relationship? As a lawyer, we have certain rules, and although he's not a prospective client, I just want to make sure as a lawyer I'm not doing anything that's running afoul of any rules. So
Sure.
it takes me a few more hoops to jump through, but I'm trying to jump through them.
If we can assist in putting you in contact, please let us know. We are not connected to the university in any way.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, it's going to take something like,
Yeah.
you or, a similar company to you, and coordinating with boosters and you guys are not affiliated with the university. It's going to take some coordination, and we need to do it to catch up.
We'll take the job. Thank you. Gordon McKernan joining us here. What do you see as next? What is the next move in this space, in your opinion?
For me or for who?
Yes, probably for you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, for me, I have an idea for LSU football. A player or a group of players to try to do something to help that. I have a kind of a co-branding advertising campaign I'd like to do, and that'll be my next move.
Absolutely. Thank you for the time this morning.
I have too many competitors out there. I don't know.
Oh, look, I love it. I love it. Keep that
right.
close to the vest. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it close to the vest.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah,
please.
It's good. It's good news for everybody.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you for the time this morning. I know that you are the way from office.
Tell us about Santa.
What happened with
You found
Santa
him.
Claus? How can we help? You found it?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, have you found him?
Yes.
No, we have not found Santa. Up the reward to $3,000.
$3,000.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
We're gonna start looking.
I'm gonna up that reward until it makes it uncomfortable for people.
Gordon,
it will be.
how does that
It will be
happen?
uncomfortable. It's the dangest thing. You can't imagine. I think that's why the news story, even Crime Stoppers was calling me and saying that we just cannot believe someone would steal your Santa that faces the interstate,
Right.
that's well lit, and people passing by. It's just how brazen it was. I think it really intrigued people, but I don't know. We have the video of the perpetrator. We're just trying to locate it, and we're getting 25, 30 tips a day.
Hey, I'm sure. I'm sure you are.
G, how high will you go? How uncomfortable will you make something?
Yeah, that Santa was about $10,000.
Oh,
I'm gonna go at least at $10,000.
Somebody's buddy's looking at him right now, saying, "If he comes with 10, your ass is dead, man." Gordon, thank you very much. We will talk soon. However we can help, we are all in. Thank you.
All right, guys. Be good. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas. There he is, Gordon McKernan checking in. He's eager. He wants to do it. Everything that we've talked about, he checks the boxes. That's the guy.
That's the guy.
That is the guy right there who says he wants in. Kayshawn's up for everybody's talking to him, talking about business opportunities with him, and people are talking about putting money in his pocket. He wants in. He wants to talk to Kayshawn on how that can happen. So those are the things that has to start rolling downhill for LSU. These are the things that we've talked about that has to go on with LSU athletics to stay relevant. That's Gordon McKernan, who you just heard say he saw on National Signing Day Texas A&M and Alabama having it figured out, and it spurred him to pick up the phone and said, enough. How do we get this done? What do we need to do from an organizational standpoint and make sure that this is all it's all absolutely it is all from a standpoint of compliant and is on all legal ground to make sure and move forward. And that's the type of personality, and those are the type of pockets that you have to have in that space for somebody like Kayshawn Butte to say, hey, look, Alabama's calling me, Texas A&M's calling me, Texas has a deal on the table, and Gordon is saying, cool, but here's your X amount, and get back to school and tweet out the post if you don't mind. Or now you're contractually obligated to do it. Blake Baker, who is the former LSU linebackers coach, not going to coach in the bowl game, but has had a tremendous one-year run here. I think that he has endeared himself to LSU fans as much as any coach on this staff. I mean, from a recruiting standpoint, Damon Clark's year alone, I think when you look at his individual coach, you've got to give him a lot of praise with the improvement that he made on that side of the ball. And Baker cleaned up in recruiting, did a really good job in recruiting. DeMario Tolan, the linebacker out of Florida, was a big get for LSU down the stretch. We will talk all about that next here with Coach Baker here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. And remember, daily, We are brought to you by Johnson and Spillers, our dentist here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Stop and see them. 2 locations, one over in Baton Rouge and the other in Gonzales on Prepara Avenue. Johnson and Spillers is a Facebook site that you can see a lot of before and after pictures from, that you can see the success stories over there at Johnson Spillers. JohnsonSpillers.com. Almost out of the woods.
Yes, he is.
Almost out of the woods there. Still have a couple of months.
To go?
Still the actual implant.
Oh, that's right.
Has to go in.
Is that the toughest of the bunch?
No. I think we're
I
way
think so.
past the tough part. Yeah,
Okay.
we're way past
That's
the tough
good.
part. But he did undersell how
This is a tedious process.
well,
this
he
bit.
did say like the second part was not going to be bad at all. It wasn't going to be. You've really gotten past the worst part.
As a dentist,
He-
right? Or
they
you're not
do.
gonna
Well,
go
I just
back.
figured that out. He's a friend though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't think
Should
that
be
he would.
straight, Doc.
Just yeah.
It's going to be shitty.
I mean, you don't have to be Doc here. You
He's
can be
just trying
Chad.
to help
Yeah.
you, though.
You know what I
you
mean?
know?
25
He knows you, though.
25
he knows you
years.
would come back.
He doesn't want
25
you to
Well, he
years.
go.
knows you're one to skate.
He does.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why.
He does.
doesn't
And
want
he
you
did
to
kind
go
of
there.
once I was
Yeah.
in the chair, kind of give it to me like I may have said this was going to be easy, but it is an hour and a half of a fist fight.
He has to strap you in like it's
Right.
a gurney. He's like, you're not going anywhere, Culotta.
I am going to beat you up for the next hour.
Yeah.
Okay, good to be here. You know what? I gotta. No, you
I
don't.
can't do it.
No, you don't. Johnson on Spillers. All right, Blake Baker next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. True Blue Water. True hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. Thank you for Gordon McKernan stopping by here. And
Awesome.
That was cool, man. That was a lot of insight, NIL stuff. He is very motivated to help, and that is a good sign for LSU. I know some news that came across the wire over the past 48 hours that had a lot of people scratching their head was Blake Baker not being retained by LSU football. Obviously, Brian Kelly has come in and has had full autonomy on what this program is going to look like moving forward, but it looked like Baker had really endeared himself to the fan base over the last year and was cleaning up on the recruiting trail. And Damon Clark's year alone, I think, deserves a lot of praise from how he was struggling last year to his improvement this year. I can very much say by the people that we know in the business and just talking to Coach Baker a little bit, his personality is not going to be unemployed for long in college football. It will be only a matter of time before he's scooped up here pretty soon. But he is joining us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Thank you for the time, Coach. Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Good morning. Merry Christmas to y'all as well. Glad to be on.
Absolutely. One thing that has stood out over the last year, Coach, is that very much the fan base has realized how much you love recruiting. I think that when you were first hired, that was very evident. And then over the last year, all the way up to signing DeMario Tolan on signing day was very evident. How much do you love that part of the game? How much is that part of the game changing with the rules in college football right now?
You know, I think as a coach, you're usually as successful as your players are talented, and a lot goes on with that as well. How hard work and what kind of character they are. So I'm always intrigued, especially as early as recruiting takes place nowadays, A young man like Demario, I've been recruiting for 3 years. So just getting to know his family, getting to know the ins and outs, getting to know his teachers. It's all fun. And to me, I do enjoy, just being able to be the guy that gives those kids the opportunity to, obviously earn a scholarship and one day get a degree. Not everybody can say that, as a high school athlete. So it's really cool from that standpoint.
Not the year that you and Matt. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just think the game's changing tremendously, obviously, with the NIL stuff and all that.
How is it changing recruiting? How are the conversations changing in the living room?
I think the biggest thing is just being upfront with kids. From a cost of attendance standpoint, this is some of the marketing deals that some of our players maybe have gotten over this past year. And not all kids are intrigued by that. I'll use Damone, for example. Obviously, he wasn't a recruit, but he was a guy going into his senior year, and he was approached by a lot of different companies and people before this season, and he didn't want to be distracted by it. So I think it's different for every individual. Some guys are super intrigued by it, and their families are super intrigued by it, and other people just want to come and get their degree and play ball. So I think it differentiates depending on which kids you're talking to.
Coach, describe Damone Clark in the season that he had. It feels like a crime that he's not the Butkus Award winner. It feels like an even bigger crime that he's not an All-American on every list. But really, who cares, because he's going to be a first-round draft pick, I feel, in April. From your point of view, who worked with him every single day over the last 365 days this year, how good is he and how much did he improve?
Damone Clark is he's a special kid. He holds a special place in my heart. I think we hit it off really well from the get-go, but from a physical standpoint, the good Lord did not make many Damone Clarks. I mean, he's 6'3", he's 245. He'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in the high 4.4s, for sure, the low 4.5s and the 40. He can run all day long. He's smart. He's just he's a wonderful kid, and to see everything come to fruition. My biggest thing I'm upset about is we only have 1 year together, and even halfway through the year, he was talking about coming back, and I said, "No, man, you're getting out of here." And
right,
it's really a credit to him. I mean, you're not going to find a harder working young man. He meticulous note taker. I wish I had a picture of his notes to show y'all. It's like a work of art, man. It's unbelievable handwriting. He's got highlighters. I mean, it's intense and it's impressive. And so for everything that he's gotten this year and everything that he's going to get moving forward, he's earned all of it. And I couldn't be more proud of him.
In watching him and scouting him last year and coming in to coaching him on the field this year, what, in your opinion, directly changed? Because he's always been that freak-type athlete. I called some of his games at Southern Lab when he was in high school, and he was sideline to sideline, making every tackle. He was you could tell he was the best athlete on the field. Between his last season and this year, what do you think unlocked for him? Because it felt like he was very much kind of unlocked as a player.
Yeah, I think that was one of my biggest. I mean, that's a great word to use is unlocked. I thought going into that room in general, but specifically him, I didn't watch a lot of tape on him. I didn't know what they were being taught to look at. I didn't know the scheme, in and out. So I didn't judge him off of missed assignments. I just strictly watched his point of attack tape, kind of to see athletically how he was. But I think unlocked is the key word. My biggest, battle cry this past spring was don't be afraid to make a mistake. Cut it loose, play fast, and I think that was the biggest thing. When I walked in there, he was scared to death to make a mistake. From a confidence standpoint, I think maybe cleaning up some technique stuff with his hands, but most importantly, probably his eyes. Kind of teaching him some ins and outs, pre-snap, post-snap, what to look at, and really hone in on what his keys should tell him to do. And once he got confident in that, it unlocked him, and he played free, played fast. He wasn't afraid to get taken out when he did make a mistake. It was play the next play. And I think all those things combined really freed him up and allowed him to have the season that he had.
Coach, I know your experience at LSU this past year is not how you envision it and not what you want, but as a coach, I know this is probably not unexpected. What is this like? I guess take us to the firsthand point of view of a coach in a world that you live in, where you're accepting a job and then you're looking for a job in a place that at LSU can become unstable too.
Yeah, it's obviously what you sign up for when you get into this profession. Me personally, I've never been a guy that wanted to stay somewhere just a year and was looking for the next job. Obviously, with the family ties here and the place, the special place that LSU is. Obviously, we wanted to work out longer than a year, but everything happens for a reason, and I really am forever grateful that I was given this opportunity. And in my opinion, I try to make the most of it every single day, and was able to do that. But right now we're just kind of sitting back and seeing what comes our way. We're not in a rush to really just to dive into the first opportunity that comes. I kind of want to just sit back and see what's out there and take my time. But like I said, forever grateful for this opportunity. Loved our time here in Baton Rouge. The people, the administration, the whole nine. It was top notch.
Coach, the defensive game plan against Alabama, you were the ones that defended them the best. What was it about that game plan? It looks like you've given a lot of people the blueprint, but nobody can really master it like you guys did that November Saturday night. What was it about your crew? It was you guys looked very different that night.
Yeah, I think that over the bye week, philosophically, we really went from playing 4 down and single high and really that's really what we did the entire year. And kind of just changed our whole demeanor. We were probably 50-50 with 3 down and 4 down and mixing in a lot of pressures. And, I think a lot of times that allows your kids, when you just sit there and 4 down or 3 down even, and you're playing the same defense over and over, it puts a lot of pressure on your kids to match up everything perfectly on the back end, to fit every run perfectly. Obviously, the opponent, they got all week to game plan with just 1 or 2 looks. And when we became a lot more multiple, I think it gave teams a lot bigger issue. And then I think it allows our kids to not have to play perfect every single snap. The mentality of telling them where to go and allowing them to do it in a very fast manner. Obviously, there's great athletes here at LSU, and allowing them just to cut it loose. I think that was probably the biggest difference from the first half of the season.
I know you did not coach him directly, but how good is Mason Smith, and how good can he be?
Oh, Mason Smith, he's my guy, man. I've been another kid I recruited for a long time. We laughed whenever I walked through the doors here. I said, man, I told you I was going to coach you. I just didn't know it was going to be wearing the purple and gold. But he's a freak.
Yeah.
That dude is a future first-round draft pick, great head on his shoulders, stays humble. And honestly, he's just going to get better and better. You can see it over the year, just cleaning up his technique, his pad level. The small things that go into making you from a great athlete to a great football player. He's well on his way, and I can't wait to see him explode next season.
I know the conversation did not end the way that you wanted it to, and I know everybody wanted you here. I'm looking at the chat. Everybody wanted you to stay in Baton Rouge. What was your what do you think the football program looks like under Brian Kelly at LSU moving forward?
It was interesting just being there a couple of weeks when he was there. And when I say interesting, it was him building a staff while the old staff's working on the game plan. So it's almost like 2 separate entities. But the one thing I can say is he's got a plan, he's got a vision. I think he's very deliberate, very calculating in his decision making. I don't think he's going to be. He's been doing it a long time. He's not going to be rushed. He's not going to be panicking into making decisions and what he sees best fit for the program. But, it's the same thing I told recruits, with me not even knowing if I'm going to have a job here or not, is he's won everywhere he's gone. You know, when people talk about a fit, I said, you could be a green alien. If you're winning football games in Baton Rouge, you're going to be a fit. So I do believe he's going to have success. I speak very highly of him. Just from being around him for a little bit, I can tell that he's a man of character. And I was really impressed with him over the couple of weeks I got to spend with him.
Very stand-up. Blake Baker here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show. An excellent representative of the game and obviously LSU football over the last year. How good is DeMario Tolan? Because his highlight film, he's sick.
Yeah, DeMario is a heck of a football player. I think it's going to be very beneficial for him being an early enrollee. When you look at the amount of linebackers they're going to have healthy going through the spring, he's going to get a ton of reps, and I think he can play Mike or Will, and I don't know exactly what scheme they're going to run here next year, but with what we were doing, I think he's versatile. I think he can play both. He's smart. You know, he comes at both his parents are ex-military, so he comes from a very structured home, handles his business, and very mature beyond his years. So I do think he's going to be a great football player. And that's what I told him in recruiting. I said LSU is still LSU regardless of if I'm here or not, and the opportunity of early playing time is still there. So, you know, it'll be fun to watch him grow over the next couple of years from a distance.
Coach, one young player that people are curious about is Greg Penn, who was a big get in recruiting and somebody who saw the field limited in his first year. How do you see him growing, or how have you liked his growth while you've coached him, and what do you see as his outlook?
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Greg. He's one of the smartest football players I've ever been around, especially as a true freshman. He really understands the game. He plays with great pad level. He knows how to stay square to the line of scrimmage, and he loves football. He takes it very serious. Obviously, coming from Catholic, where football is ingrained into him at an early age, and just the approach you have to succeed at that school, I think you can see it's paid off here at LSU, and I fully expect him to be a stud by the time he leaves LSU.
Coach, we talked and had Uncle Kev on the show. That's
all we needed to hear right there.
Of Harold Perkins. I can't imagine how wild his recruiting is, because he is worth all of it. How good is he?
I don't know how much I can actually.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I put you in a weird spot, and you don't have to say anything. No, but
Talk about Uncle Kev.
Your laugh said it all. Coach, thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for doing this. I know that you didn't have to do this, but I will tell you, as somebody that is from here and has covered LSU football for a long time, that the fan base has fallen in love with you over the last year, and they can tell by the way that you love the game and that you loved and represented LSU. So let me tell you, thank you from them to you over the way that you've handled this. I know this has been a very awkward time for coaches. In the way that you have represented our state and our flagship university, we are very grateful for, and wish you nothing but the best, man. And I know good things are coming your way probably pretty quickly here. So thank you very much.
I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to represent LSU in the state of Louisiana. And like I said, this is home, and it's forever LSU. So I can't thank y'all enough. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Blake Baker. See you, man.
You got it. Bye-bye.
There is Blake Baker checking in this morning, talking a little LSU football, and his thoughts there on Harold Perkins.
Went a lot of people over, I bet, just now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But,
no, he's good.
Great guy.
He was a great guy.
That was good in for you. And look, man, like I said, nobody had to do that. You know what I mean? Like, he don't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to come on here and for whatever your trade is, whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're at your desk thinking about, whatever your job entails, think about it being as unstable as LSU football has been the last 6 months. And that you've got kids at home, you've got people you've got to feed, you got people wondering and curious about where they're going to be in school at, where they're going to be working at, just some of those conversations that they're having at the dinner table. And granted, they've got a lot of money in the bank, but those are still human beings and real life stuff that is going on. And for Blake Baker to come in through here and really recruit the way he did, I mean, as you heard there, his recruiting pitch to Tolan the entire time about Brian Kelly was that he was a winner and that he represented LSU and that he was going to represent LSU in a great fashion and in a great way. And
he didn't have to do it that way.
and he was just great.
I mean, I think the thing that stood out the most during recruiting, if he goes, LSU's still going to be LSU. Like, he's not underselling it or short selling it. Like, I would kind of look around if I were you. I don't know what they're doing there. It's like, no, LSU will always be there. And now when you have a Brian Kelly, that's the head coach. Like, that's a pretty easy sell.
And for me, that was a cool thing for me to hear is how highly he thinks of Brian Kelly, even though he lost his job and Brian Kelly basically said, we don't want you back. You're fired. He understands the scope of the situation. He knows that, hey, this guy's going to come in. And he's
unknown caller.
Hey.
And he's going to bring in his own guys.
9, dude. What happens then?
You know what I mean? He's going to bring in his own guys. And so he understands that. Like, he has the awareness of, like, hey, this is probably going to happen. And so not having that bitterness and being able to say, I can see what he's doing, and I agree with what he's doing and how he's trying to build it, like, that says a lot about him as a person.
We just put another huge one in the boat. Neil Farrell is going to join us next year on the Jordy Culotta Show. That's what's going on here. I'm trying to put this together as Neil Farrell, who has opted out for the bowl. We'll find out why. We'll ask him about his senior season, if he knows how much money he has made the last couple of games, because my man has blown up. We'll ask him about the state of LSU football and what he thinks next year on the Jordy Culotta Show. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. GoFlow IV and Spa, 7970 Jefferson Highway is where you can find them, or you can simply go online to goflowiv.com. GoFlow IV Spa is a medical spa that specializes in IV hydration with vitamin infusion. At GoFlow IV Spa, they can help you with a wide range of issues, from skin care to illness recovery, athletic performance, hangover cure, chronic illness, and even chronic dehydration. GoFlowIV.com or stop in and see them, 7970 Jefferson Highway. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Excellent show here on this Tuesday. Thank you for all the interaction. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button. Blake Baker was really impressive in his couple of minutes here talking LSU football. Gordon McKernan was here. We also talked to John Brady about LSU basketball. And we also talked to Ben Mintz, Barstool Sports, which was a really good conversation. Looking forward to our next one. Neil Farrell is in the news as he has decided he is not going to play in the bowl game. As we were talking about this earlier on in the show, Neil Farrell makes a lot of sense on this stuff. I don't know if Farrell even knows how much money he has made this past season in playing football, but it has been a ton because my man is shooting up draft boards, and I don't know how much he's got left to prove. And what a dominant game versus Kansas State would do for him in the eyes of a general manager or an owner of an NFL franchise. You've probably already seen enough. He can wreck a game. He's done that a couple of times on the SEC level here the last season, and now he is heading back to Texas and getting set for the NFL draft. And he joins us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show, which we appreciate very much. Good morning, Merry Christmas, big fella.
What's up? Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Do you have any idea on how much money you have made yourself this past season in playing football?
Well, so I don't. I just go out there and try to perform at a high level every week.
What was the emphasis on this season? Because a lot of people, if you recall Neil's story, you sat out to COVID. You came back because of family members. You had sat out to COVID, so you were out of football. And then you come back to football this past season. And once you get right physically, get back into, I guess, football shape is what they call it, you were unblockable at times. What was your motivation this past season?
You know, I just came back with a mindset to dominate, man. I knew after this year, there wouldn't be no more left in the tank for me. I didn't have another year to come back. So I knew I had to lay it all out there this year, and that's what I did.
What was it like playing for Durante Jones? What did he teach you anything new about the game? Because it looked like from games 6 or 7 on, y'all were a different crew on that side of the ball.
You know, he changed the defense to more of attacking defense, letting the D-line get off the ball and make plays. He just worked with the backfield. And it helped us a lot in the show after we played, I want to say Ole Miss, we changed the defense around and it paid off for a bunch of us.
Quincy Carter, what did he do for you? He looked like as an NFL, not Quincy Carter. Not Quincy Carter. I'm thinking Quincy Wiggins. I'm thinking Quincy Wiggins. I'm going to ask you about Quincy Wiggins too. Andre Carter. When he put on the pads that day in preseason camp, he still looks like he could probably get 10 sacks in the NFL now.
Right.
What was he like as a defensive line coach?
Man, he the best defensive line coach I ever had in my life, man.
Wow.
He a player's coach. You know, he keep us first, man. He came in with a different mindset. He wanted us to improve it, not on the field, but off the field too. You know, he's just a great coach. I give him a lot of credit on my success this year.
Wow. How difficult of a decision was this for you to not play?
You know, it was a hard decision, man. You know, because I'm very loyal to LSU, man. I've been giving them my all since I've been here in 2017. So it was a hard decision, but it also was the best decision for me. So that's why I made it.
No, I think people get it, man. I think it's you know, this is the way of college football now. This is the way of your game, and the way it is played. You've done enough. People know how good you are. How has NIL changed your sport? How have you seen that in just the little amount of time that it's been around? How has it changed maybe the locker room dynamic, or how has it changed college football in your opinion?
I feel like it changed for the better. You know, in the past years, us players, we complain about how scholarships stipend a month, how much we get paid when we're making no money. And then with this NIL coming in, people being able to make more money than they ever had in their life is really a blessing.
How good is Mason Smith?
Mason Smith is a dog, man. He can play inside, outside. He's going to be a great player for LSU, and I can't wait to see his future.
Neil, tell me about your entire LSU run. Take me back to your recruiting, to getting onto campus, winning a national championship, and now you look like you're going to be one of the top defensive tackles taken in the draft. What has the experience been like?
It's been a journey, man. You know, I came as a freshman. I had big dogs in front of me. I had to wait my turn, so I didn't really play much in my junior year in 2019. So I was just patient, waited my turn, kept going first, and then it paid off for me.
Yeah. How good was Burrow?
Yeah, Burrow, one of a kind, man. You'll never see nothing like him again. I promise you that.
I believe
that. Did you have a moment? Everybody seems to have a moment when they knew that he was Joe Burrow. Did you remember one, or do you recall one where you were like, "This cat is different"?
Man, I think it was one of our preseason games, man. He had got hit by Patrick Queen on the sideline. They had like a little tussle over there. I'm like, okay, this guy right here tough. So I knew he was gonna be something special.
Yeah.
How fun was 2019?
2019 was so memorable, man. I'll never forget, man. 15-0, won national championship, had one of the best teams in college football, man. It was a historical year, and it was fun, too, to be a part of.
So what's the schedule like for you now? What happens in your life? You are obviously gearing towards becoming a professional football player. How does that schedule look?
Well, I left Baton Rouge, and I'm currently in my hometown, Mobile, spending time with my family for Christmas. And I report to Florida House of Athletes Monday to start training for the draft.
That's what I was going to ask you. Where are you gonna train and prepare for the draft? But you answered that.
Yeah, I'm doing Mo Wells at House of Athletes in Florida.
Where's that? Where in Florida is that?
Western Florida.
Okay.
Quincy Wiggins, how good can he be? And what was it like recruiting him?
Yeah, he gonna be a good player, man. I watched him at every camp we came to the LSU, man. He dominated air, offensive lineman. He went against, man. He big for his size. Like I didn't know he was in high school. He big. He gonna be real good once he gets some good hands up on him.
Neil, who I guess as a defensive lineman, who do you try to model your game after? Or who do you like? Who's your favorite, I guess, defensive lineman that you've seen?
Man, my favorite player, Fletcher Cox, man. I love watching his film, how dominant he is, his run and the pass. I try to model my game after him.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too, man. Have you had any conversations with Brian Kelly? If you have, what is your thoughts on him? And if not, what are your thoughts on LSU football into the future under his direction?
I ain't really met him because I ain't been up there since probably after the last game. I ain't really been up there much. But from what I hear, he's a pretty good coach, and they like him so far.
Yeah. Everything good with you and Ogeron on the way out?
Yes, sir. That's my guy, man. He recruited me when we came in together. Well, we didn't come in together, but he recruited me I can't thank him enough. I text him and say I appreciate everything you did for me. You're a great coach, man. I wish him nothing but the best.
Neil, you were a monster, bro. You were fun to watch play. You have made yourself and your family a really good outlook on what your future is going to look like at the next level. Go get all of it, bro.
Yeah, good luck, man.
You deserve it. Thank you thanks for joining us, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yes, sir. No problem. Y'all too.
All right, man. See you. There is Neil Farrell checking in this morning from Mobile, Alabama. One of the big gets back in recruiting back in 2017 for LSU football as he has come in. And that's how it's supposed to work out, man. Wait your time. Pay your dues, get on the field. Once you get your opportunity, make the most of it, and get into the NFL. That's what's happening to Neil Farrell. Whoever gets him is going to get a really good player and a really good pro. Thank you for everybody joining us. If you're still here, make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. If you're watching this later and you're not subscribed to the podcast or the YouTube station, make sure and hit that subscription button, please. Hit that
new subscriber.
that bell.
Hey, you got one.
Webcams.chat.com. Hot girls and boys.
Where they been?
That comes up every time we say something weird.
The feet talk.
When did we say weird? It was the feet talk.
The feet.
It must have been the feet.
That is just, man.
Right.
That's weird.
All right, so there is. It seems like there's a lot of good energy around the Keishawn Butte story right now.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Right. There's a salute to Kay right there in the middle of the couch.
There he is. Look at him.
Still
Love good
rocking
energy.
the purple and gold. So it looks like Gordon McKernan is going to white knight this thing.
You're
Coming
saying
in here,
somebody
coming
stepped up to
to
the
save the
table.
day.
Time. That's
Save the day.
Keyshawn has
right.
Santa. That's going to be the one that finds it. That's how you pay the guy.
Yes.
10K. Let's go, dude.
Come play hero. All right, so thanks to everybody, all of the guests, man. Neil Farrell was fantastic. Blake Baker, really good interview.
Yeah.
John Brady with a good outlook and insight on LSU basketball and what's happening around that program right now. Ben Mintz was fantastic as well, talking about what's going on with him at Barstool Sports as his brand is on fire. Like, share, comment, post, do all of it. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Thank you.
Feet.